This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. What's going on? Look, it's just me. Mag's on his way in a second, but I thought, hey, I will say hi to everybody and take the opportunity to just be in here all by myself. You know, it's so comfy and calm here. But yeah, Mag will be here in just a moment. I thought, yeah, let's do it. There's a lot to talk about. Got AC running. Hang on. It's warm. It's really warm outside. How is everybody doing today? Let me check out the chat here. Let's see. Welcome, everybody. What a crazy, crazy week. I fully expected to wake up this morning and have some news break about the impending layoffs. I think those things are real. Mag and I are going to talk about what's being discussed behind the scenes. Nobody really knows, but I think Mag has some insight on some stuff that I wasn't even on my radar. But it's all speculation right now, but we'll get into that respectfully and tastefully as possible because we're talking about people possibly losing their jobs, and they don't even know. They probably won't even know until the day of, as this breaks. So for those of you who are waiting for Xbox to make an announcement, it's more likely that they're going to, it'll just be broken by the media, by Bloomberg or something like that. But we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about the the big major concern trolls about what Xbox is doing, the Xbox, yeah. And we're going to talk about next generation stuff. It's crazy. It's a really good time. We're in the middle of like what we would consider, or I would consider like the down slow period after Showcase. Everything's supposed to be kind of quiet and nothing's really supposed to rumble up until Gamescom, which is a month away. But actually things are pretty exciting. And I've been covering a lot of the hardware stuff. I'm excited to see where all that goes. But I want to welcome everybody to the show. Before we get started, something I don't often do, and I don't want to take for granted the amazing people that support the show and that reach out to me and send me messages and encourage what we're doing here on the show. And they also are amazing on the channel members and Patreons. I want to give a shout out to KY Bob, who also runs a podcast on Wednesdays called Game Set Live. Check him out if you want to hear some discussion about what's going on in the gaming news from different types of people. There's some really good stuff to hear on his show. Check out KY Bob. Thanks to Assassin Loop, Jazzy Newtbox, Hargeet Chani, Jason Lewan, Lord Sin Eater, William Riggs, Farscape, Matt Houston. Game Seeker is another really great supporter that I have that I talk to almost every day, and we share news and insights. And I was going to wear it today. He sent me this amazing... I was going to wear it, but I wore it like 2 days this week. He sent me this amazing Outer Worlds shirt. It's so cool looking. So I want to thank him so much for his support. Zimic, Nelson, Bernal, Vigil, Kings 5050, Happy Bomb, Decatron, Tricks for Trey, Armin LaRoche, another amazing supporter who has been on the Patreon for a while is Pushing Polygons, who messaged me today and said, hey, have a great show. And I really appreciate you guys for doing that. It actually lifts the spirits. Channel members, Matt Burns, Udani Kazada, great channel supporter and amazing mod. Robert Jackson, Dante Moody, good friend. Beta Max, Septic Sauce, a good friend and enemy. Gaz. Zena White, V Simcoe, Assassin, Dub, Raiden Blade, Risk It for the Biscuit. We love Risk It so much. True 77, a good friend. Micah Ford, Pen Pineapple Pen, Troll Roberts, Meat Puppet, Red Wolf, another great friend. Jedi J Golan, Rip, and Highlander, Techno Caveman, Fire 71, That Blue Number, another excellent friend who's working on a very secret video. I want you guys to keep an eye out for her channel. She's got some cool stuff brewing. Kung Fu Hot Dog, Shooter 2853, Tex Made, VMAC, B Martin, Sith Lord, Good Old Collingwood, Dead Time, KJ Wars 85, Darkwave Mortem, Lord Star Killer, Kings, Justin Durrell, Biff Rinaldi, and DizGuy07. Biff Rinaldi's another guy I get to talk to behind the scenes. All right, you guys are amazing. Shout out to over 200 people who are here as I get started solo. Let me see what Mag's saying. I want to make sure that he's not in quicksand. I said, I'll go a little bit early, and he's like, yeah, go for it. So, sheesh, when I'm here by myself, I tend to talk like really super fast. Meg, slows me down from Mach 17. So today we're going to talk about the layoffs, some of the possible things, what I think might be happening. I was just surprised we didn't hear it yet. I thought this would come out, but there's some interesting concern trolling going on with Xbox's hardware roadmap and Xbox changing their mind from time to time. We're going to dive into some takes from some very prominent content creators, some ex-leadership people, and you've all kind of seen it if you've been following social media. There's a lot to cover there. Also, I want to talk about the new consoles. PlayStation 6 and Xbox are doing all kinds of stuff behind the scenes. But before we do that, I thought I'd talk about a little bit about what I'm playing, because I'll get into this with Mag when he gets here as well, because I don't know, I couldn't wait. I finished Stellar Blade on PC. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of got on my nerves a little bit toward the end there. It's a bunch of boss rushes, but glad I played it. $40 well spent, I suppose. And now I'm playing with the guy with the green overlay. I'm playing another PlayStation game, as we do, and I'm playing Death Stranding 2. And so far, it's better than the first because it's not as annoying. And I really like the first one, but they kind of took away the stuff that was kind of driving me crazy. The stuff that made the game overly frustrating. Let me bring in my good friend Mag here. This is what we do. Let me see if this button works. There we go. Mag, what is up? I was just telling him I'm playing Death Stranding 2. Are you playing Death Stranding 1 right now? What? He's like, no, he doesn't have a mic yet? Hold on.
No, I have a mic. No, I have a mic. Let me tell you something, folks, okay? If Xbox is about to become a PC, we're all in deep trouble, okay? Because every 2 days there's a problem with the PCs. So let me tell you something. Get petitions signed. Get whatever you got signed. We do not want an Xbox as a PC in a box because it's going to bring nothing but trouble, all right? Nothing but trouble. Anyways, sorry, folks. I had some massive PC issues. It kept saying, can't load, need to reboot. The UI is not functional. Please reboot your system. And I kept rebooting and rebooting. And then finally it kicked in, and then everything sort of like updated and it was fine. But what a load of nonsense.
Bro, I'll
Phil
sweat
Spencer,
bullets.
I know you're listening.
I'll sweat bullets
Phil
when my
Spencer,
PC's not working.
Dude, Phil, just make a dedicated Xbox, please. Don't do a Windows 11 PC Xbox, because it's going to be this. I'm going to be waiting to play Gears of War with Colteastwood, and I'll be like, sorry, bro, there's 116 updates, and I have to reboot the UI 17 times. Yeah. Ridiculous. Anyways, folks, I'm glad we're here, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. So,
Ghostbuster 1984 says, hi, Walter White, so I think you need to take off your shirt. Or not your shirt.
My shirt.
You need to take off your hat. The shirt can come
my
later.
Hat. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot my banana suit at home, Alex. Richard M. What a smart Alec. Listen to this guy. He goes, Windows 7 update.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, my goodness. Kidding. Yes. My PC runs off a gerbil and a wheel, folks. That's how it works. But
yeah.
Either way, we're here. We got things to talk about, buddy. I have not been playing Death Stranding 1. I watched the 6.5-minute video on YouTube, and I dove right into Death Stranding 2. I said, forget it. I know the story.
Okay.
And I just started streaming.
Okay. I thought you were playing the first one. So, all right, so we're playing the same game, same time, same bat channel, same two white dudes playing the same game. Okay. All right. Oh, I forgot. You're not white. You're Italian, and I'm Norwegian, so it doesn't count, right?
I'm white adjacent, apparently, to the to the activists. I'm white adjacent. Nadir, his comment got blocked. He goes, "Why you fat little bro, dude? I just had Chinese takeout, and I'm not fat. I'm ripped, but I work out 5 days a week, bud. All right. If you want to see me with my shirt off, Mag's OnlyFans is available for you specifically. Yes,
Mag's Only Feet. What a great thing to subscribe to. So we're both playing Death Stranding. So you can't really compare it to the first, but right when you were joining, I was saying that it took away some of the annoying things that made the game more I don't know what the word is, because I really like the first one, but they're not as harsh. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how people want to talk about it very much, but whatever. It's something we're doing right now, and I'm enjoying it.
Yes. I'm hearing that like I'm only 2 hours in, and then I cut the stream short because I was exhausted. I did a whole week of streaming. I did videos on top of XNC. So by Friday night, I'm like, guys, I got to tap out. Like I played 2 hours, and I'm like, I can't do anything else. Like I am just between work and then the streaming and the videos. I was just exhausted, and I'm like, I just need away for a few days. So I stepped away. I did a video this morning because I about Battlefield 6. I saw 15 minutes of new footage, and from the closed, not so closed play test, because that, like I was saying, EA is worse than a leaky ship right now. Like information is just dropping left, right, and center. So I got to see that. I did a video on that, talked about that. And then that was it. And then now this week I'll be back into it. But I'm hearing that as you go along in that game, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm in. It's just, by the way, my first stream got demonetized because
the music.
I didn't know where the mute button is on the PlayStation. So apparently here, and if anybody doesn't know this, right here at the very bottom, you know how you can mute your microphone? Yeah. Hello, gamers. Dreamcast guy here. And on today's XNC, we're going to be talking about the PS5 controller. The controller right here. Anyways, the button here, that mutes your mic. But if you hold it down for 2 seconds, it mutes the sound, the stream, but doesn't mute your audio. So if you hear like a licensed song come on and you're streaming, press and hold that down for 2 minutes, or 2 seconds, excuse me, 2 minutes. 2 seconds, it mutes the game, but does not mute your audio. So you could still keep talking and playing until I guess you sort of guess whenever the music is over, and then you can unmute it and keep going. But I didn't know that the first time. And all of a sudden I'm playing, and then I started making up my own lyrics because it was raindrops keep falling on my head, right?
Oh,
and
yeah, what a great song.
Great song, great way to start the game. It was perfect for the opening credits, but of course I changed the lyrics as I'm just like, Hideo Kojima just screwed my stream. You know, and I was singing along and whatever, and I'm like, well, I might as well enjoy it. Got demonetized, so either way. And then of course I got the lovely email from YouTube saying,
I know, it's so scary.
You can't do that. Yeah.
This happened last week when we wrapped the show with King David. You know, we finished the show and you and I say, oh, thank you so much, and we talked for a minute, and I left the room and I got demonetized on the podcast because the intro for the show, right before the intro of the show starts, there's a, and I grabbed it from Ticking Clock, and it, I don't know if there's any diehard music fans in here, but it flagged that as a song by Dream Theater, and it's a short Dream Theater. They're a prog rock band. Yeah, prog rock band. They have a really short song that has a ticking clock in the beginning, and then the guy starts talking, and then it goes into the music. And YouTube's like automatic algorithm goes demonetized. And so, anyway, I got the nasty email like, everything's okay. You're not in trouble. We just can't give you, you're not going to get paid for this. And I'm like, what? So anyway, I pulled the ticking clock out of it, but whatever. But shout out to Lotus Esprit, who gifted 5 channel memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate you so much. They have been very generous. Also, Noisy Mofo joined as a channel member. Noisy Mofo, on any of you that got a channel membership, you'll get to watch these videos sometimes 12, 15 hours earlier than everybody, because I usually make them in the afternoon and then they go up the next morning. And Mag and I have been making videos like crazy. I made like 5 hardware videos, and you've been covering all the games and stuff. And I was taking a look at your channel again today, and you've just been very busy, and it's been pretty exciting. So.
Yeah, and getting a lot of traction there too. It's been growing, and I'm on the march to 3,000 now. So that's the next goal that we're working on. So and then a lot of new channel members, 28 new channel members. So it's been awesome, man. The Legion of Mag is growing. So and it's a really, really good time, having a lot of fun, the laughs and stuff that we're doing in the chat. Like that blue number, who is a member, by the way, she is a magnificent maggot. She just said, I need an entire Magcast guy episode. I will absolutely do that. I don't know if I can handle doing that for like 2 hours, but yeah.
Poor Dreamcast guy. You know, I put out a tweet, said we all owe him an apology. If these layoffs.
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
Yeah, people are really mad. I won't apologize for nothing. But it's kind of a joke, because he said Xbox has been dying like so many times that if something dies, he might actually be right. We'll talk about that a little bit today. But before we do, the thing that's kept us energized to create content, I want you to tell the good people about our amazing sponsor, we had a couple weeks off of talking about all that they've done. But Meg, what can you tell them off the cuff with no amazing, without your amazing, you know, he rehearses these scripts in the bathroom, you know, he's like in front of the bathroom. He's like, are you good enough? Can you do it? He wears many hats.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have 4xpgaming.com. You know what? We haven't talked about it in a while, and I'll tell you something. When Cole mentioned earlier about he's been doing a lot of videos, and I've been doing a lot of videos and live streaming, the only thing that keeps me on my feet, not only with being able to have my career, my family, my children, the whole 9 yards, and streaming and doing videos, 4xpgaming.com, ladies and gentlemen. Go to 4xpgaming.com. You got to go check these guys out. All right? We got to help them out. They're gamers too, and that's the great part about it. They are gamers. They're not just like some corporate, geeks who are just like, oh, let's just take advantage of these guys and let's see what the cool kids are doing. No, these guys are actual gamers. You go
and
to
they're
the
in this
website,
community too.
They're in the community. They're in the chat all the time. They're on TikTok. They're on Twitter. They're in my live streams. They're in our XNC here. They're in Colt's videos in the chat section. They're all there, or in the comments section. They're all there. That means they're part of us. That means they're one of us. Go out there and support these guys. You got to go to the website, check it out. If you haven't already, go to the website and take a look at how they do the thing. They have actual characters for each flavor. And you select them kind of like a Mortal Kombat character, and they have like a picture of them, and it's really, really dope artwork. And then next to it, it has like a whole backstory and everything, just like as if you're looking at like Scorpion or Sub-Zero or whatever, right? And it's so cool. But either way, the product is amazing. The product is fantastic. You got to get out there. You got to do it. And if you want to do what we're doing, and you want to have the energy that we have, then you got to go to 4xpgaming.com, ladies and gentlemen. You got to do it.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Mag.
Yes.
You're amazing. Thanks to you to 4XP. We appreciate them.
And there you go. Ben Angelo in the chat says, white gummy is the best. You see that, folks? White gummy is the best. That's what Ben Angelo said. That's one of our people out there in the streets. And he's ordering it. He's having a good time. And I wasn't kidding when I say it. Every time we do one of these little talks about 4XP, people always message me all the time with pictures of their product going, yo, I got this, this, and this. And they'll send me pictures of the tubs. And they're like, I really like this one. I really like that one. And they really go into detail. So I'm like, I'm all for it, man. Let's do it. Let's support these guys. Get out there. 4xpgaming.com. Link is in the chat, folks.
Yeah, we don't play favorites, do we? But white gummy is our favorite.
Well, come on, man. Yeah, it's so good.
Come on now. Yeah,
it's so good.
Sometimes I like to try to like warm up the show and kind of start with the smaller stuff, but why don't we just dive into what everybody wants to talk about? Why lollygag and as my dad would say, glad hand, the dog and pony show. Let's just talk about what everyone's talking about right now, and it is Xbox hardware is dying.
Kong banana. Oh. Sorry, I figured that.
I mean, it could be. It could be. Yeah, let's talk about Des and the Gary. A lot of prominent content creators are really asking strong questions. Jez Corden is, trying to correct things. We got Xbox's community manager, Stein, who's saying, look, this is what we're doing. What am I talking about? I'm talking about there's this new narrative going around that Xbox is really not really going to make a console. Which is strange because this narrative is kind of going around post E3 or after the showcase. And then Xbox waited 10 days and Sarah Bond said, we're partnering with AMD to make the next generation of consoles and multiple devices. But that's not good enough because a really, really cool new content creator named Laura Fry. I'm looking at that blue number. It's Fryer? It's Laura Fryer, right? Yes, Laura Fryer.
Laura Fryer.
I have it written down correctly, and I said Laura Fryer. Laura Fryer, who is one of the founding members of Xbox. She worked on the team. That blue number is actually sharing some... I'm going to give you the background of Laura. She's amazing. A soft-spoken Gen X person like us who's worked in the industry her whole, professional life. She said... Let me see if I can find this, because that blue number was giving us like the background on stuff she's worked on. Laura was the director behind Shadow of Mordor. She's worked with Xbox and that team. She said that she worked with Peter Jackson in New Zealand to get the game out. She also worked on something called Internet Game Zone. She said that was pre-Windows Live back in 1998. Garnered 18 million gamers on the Xbox, Microsoft side of things back on PC. And she has been making videos about the real truth of what's going on in the industry. And I I don't know, Mag, have you seen some of her work in the past, or are you just now seeing
Yes.
her stuff on YouTube?
No. I know who she is, but I wasn't following her YouTube channel. So after the video became sort of infamous, then I'm like, I didn't realize she had a YouTube channel, so I went to go to check it out, and then I realized who it was. I didn't know the name like off the top of my head. I'm like, Laura Fryer didn't mean anything to me, and then when I went, I'm like, oh, I know who that is, and I'm like, okay, and then I look back and I saw that, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it is what it is. So yes, I watched the video. We're talking about the video that is that's called "The Future of Xbox," the specific video that
Yes, sir.
made its rounds. I did watch it. I watched it 3 times because it's 12 minutes long. It's
Did you
not
cry?
that long of a video. No, it was. But it was. She has great insight in the business and in the industry, and she clearly knows what she's talking about. She's been doing it for 30 plus years. But the thing is, I wish she was a little more animated. She's a little bit monotone when she speaks. So like when she's talking, she's very techie. You know what I mean? Like if you look at like Digital Foundry, like those guys aren't like entertainers. Those guys are just like, they do their thing and they're like, well, this one is 1080p. They sound like they're like narrating a golf tournament, right? It's like, well, he's coming up on a par 3. He's 160
Lafferty
yards
Daniels
from the hole.
and Happy Gilmore. Yeah,
that's right. Lafferty Daniels and Happy Gilmore. And then when you watch Digital Foundry, they're like, well, looks like Donkey Kong is 1080p, 30 FPS. What do you think about that, Mike? Like, well, he's pulling out a 9-iron. Oh, I mean, wrong sport. But anyways, she seems the same way. But her information is
solid,
educated.
Yeah.
She is solid. She knows what she's talking about. Now, I think why people got all wild and stuff, because I went to her comments. I'm like, oh, this should be funny. So I went to the comments section, and they didn't disappoint. Some people were like going wild. But for the most part, a lot of people were saying, thank you, Laura, for the information and your thoughts on this or whatever. What I gathered from it, it didn't come across like she was saying it's dead in terms of it's not coming out. I think she was referring to, now correct me if I'm wrong or you think I'm wrong, this is my interpretation of what she said. I think she was referring to the fact that it would be a dedicated console, like built in-house, not part of a Windows ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like this PC hybrid kind of thingy, so that it's streamlined across everything, as opposed to like a dedicated, chipset made just for an Xbox specifically, right? And then have the PC stuff completely separate. But you and I have talked about it on the last 2 shows now. We talked about their plan,
20.
which, and then their plan is to actually streamline it across everything, so you only have to really essentially develop it one time and then be able to plug it into any ecosystem that they see fit, minus the PlayStation, because that would actually require a different, you know what I mean, like a smaller team to be able to develop for that, or to translate the game to that. But yeah, I would see that as a streamlined event. So you got PC, whatever the hell this new Xbox is going to be, it'll probably just be a box under the TV, just like we talked about, but it'll run off Windows 11, your ROG Ally X and all that kind of stuff. It'll be streamlined across the board. And I think what she was referring to as their hardware being dead, I don't think she actually meant there's no console coming. I think she just meant anything that we have seen thus far will no longer be part of their future. So there will still be a box, they'll still have a console per se, but it will not be a dedicated piece of hardware specifically to that one ecosystem and then translated for PC and PlayStation at a later date or whatever.
Well, what if she's...
Does that make sense? Does that make sense of what I was trying to say?
And I'm trying to remember exactly what she said in the videos, in that last video. But a lot of people seem to be in agreement that Laura is saying Xbox is kind of ambiguous about what they're doing. They're trying to find ways to stick. They're trying to come up with different things, and nobody really knows what they're doing. And she said it sounds like Xbox doesn't quite know where to go next. I hear this a lot from people on the outside, even from people like Michael Pachter or other analysts, saying that Xbox is just trying all these different things and they don't have an identity. They don't know where to go. I've been following Xbox for so long that I take some of what Laura Fryer is saying as she's not as keyed in or as focused in on where Xbox is going as someone like me who reads it every single day. And as knowledgeable as Laura is, she probably isn't constantly looking into every move that Xbox is making. Like you and I are diving and looking behind the scenes. like trying to sniff out every little like morsel of what Xbox plans to do next. We've looked at these. She probably hasn't looked at the leaked project names like you and I have, Brooklyn and all these, and looked at those names. What could this mean? Where are they going next? And there's a lot I want to cover. I don't want to run over everything immediately, but I think that what she's saying is Xbox doesn't quite know where they're going, but everyone's in agreement. She means they're probably trying to get out of the hardware business eventually. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that's probably what she means. They're going to put out whatever this is. They'll probably, I don't know if she says this exactly, but they're probably going to have their console. They're going to have some other stuff that's not just their console. And then after that, all bets are off. There's probably not going to be an Xbox Series 3 if this next one's called Xbox Series 2. And I would agree with her. You and I both said that, King Dave was here last week. He's like, no PS6, and you and I aren't in agreement. But you and I have kind of said it many times that there's probably a PS6, but a PS7 is probably a big question mark when we look into like 2035, right? Are we real? And I even think even if there is a PS7, it probably won't be as popular as the PlayStation is today. I think that future is changing. Some people think that Laura, I'm going to ask you to kind of go off on riff on this one, Mag. Some people think that Laura Fryer doesn't know what she's talking about because she's been out of the Microsoft business for over 10 years, but that she might have an axe to grind, that maybe she's griping because she no longer works there. Maybe there's some like negative connotation that makes her say, you know what, I'm going to say this that's not so favorable toward Xbox looking great.
I can't see that scene that she left all those years ago. I mean, you would have to be holding some kind of a Sicilian mafia grudge to be holding it damn near 20 years later. Right. You know what I mean? Like at that point, it's long history. It's gone. I think she was just giving her observations, and a lot of them were absolutely correct. She was talking about the side-by-sides of how when PlayStation started and then when Xbox started, and then the trajectories of the two companies of where they're going and where they went and where they're going. And she wasn't wrong. So like she literally nailed it down to a T as to everything that was happening. And I'm like, okay, I don't see why are people getting mad? It's absolute fact. Like she was talking about, for example, she says, the last 6 years, actually, I'd say, the last 6 years, she says their direction and marketing has been nothing short of chaotic. And it has been. And I see people in the chat saying the same thing. It's like the throwing the spaghetti on the wall to see what sticks, method of business. It's like every 2 weeks. Remember when we were first doing the show like 2 years ago, and when they were really into, there was nothing really coming out. They were pretty slow on that. Remember that, the 2022, 23 era? It wasn't really, it was rough around that time, right? And then for Xbox anyway. And so they were looking at that, and they're like, all of a sudden, every 2 weeks, it seemed like the strategy was changing. Oh, well, we're doing this now. Oh, well, we're doing this now. All right, well, we're doing this now. So people didn't know how many flags to hold up. I'm like, yeah, we're going to hold up this flag. Whoop, nope, throw that one. We're going to do this one now. And nobody knew where to cheerlead, right? And it was just
some of that's true. Guys. Some of that's overblown. Like,
of course it is.
But absolutely in 2024, it sure seemed like that for sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just seemed like the strategies, like, I'm sure they had it ironed out. Maybe. Who the hell knows? Maybe. And then Project Latitude just came flying out of the sky like a nuclear missile. Nobody knew that. Nobody saw that. Well, we saw that coming, but a lot of people didn't see that coming on top of everything else. So it does come across as poor messaging and chaos, right? And she wasn't wrong there. And she wasn't talking about for internally. She was talking about the perception of the customer. And I think that's where we've had... And that's where we've had that. And listen, the numbers are proving it. Yes, they're making billions of dollars. Yes, they're doing incredibly well. Yes, they're doing great with the third party publishing thing, and they're still going to continue to do that. That's not going to change. However, you could see the numbers are nowhere near where they had projected their numbers to be. Whether that be the last time we saw Game Pass numbers, hardware sales, all those things are down. Yeah, a lot of people went to PC, which they're happy about. They want more people to be on PC. They don't want consoles anymore, except for the fact that they want you to still pay for Xbox Live bundled in with your Game Pass. Because on PC, That ain't there. So they love that gravy train going on the console side where they're going to continue to charge and make $2 billion a year for people to pay online and whatever, and then pay a premium for Game Pass on there, whereas the PC folks are still paying $10, right? So, but anyways, that's another tangent. I agreed with mostly everything that she was saying. But I'm just saying, I think, like I said, I think people jump the gun because people get too emotional for whatever reason. It's not like they own the company, but they get so emotional about it. I'm like, guys, calm down, man. I think what she was trying to say is that, like I said before, is that the interpretation, her interpretation is what we have seen from 2000 all the way till the series consoles, we will never see again. Right, in that respect, and I think that's what she meant by it's
absolutely
dead or die. That's all I think she meant. She didn't even mean anything nefarious about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the next generation will not be a box that will not be just one box and that's all you get, and it will not be locked and restricted in a walled garden with the exclusives. Absolutely. Umbra says, quote, people sure seem desperate to have Xbox exit the console market. I want to dive into that discussion in a minute, but while we're talking, because it really does seem like people just want to finish off the job. They just want Xbox to say, you know what, we tried, we can't beat PlayStation, we're out, you guys are right, we're gone, hardware team's gone, there's no console, we're the name Xbox is going away, you win, you were right all along. Like, they really want that, and I'm not kidding when I say they really want to be right, that Xbox just bows out and says, we can't make it. You guys were right. Like, they really want to be told that. There is a stark difference between Mike Ybarra, who was a second in command with Phil Spencer last decade for Xbox, and Laura Fryer, who used to work for Xbox back in the early 2000s. There is a stark difference between the way that they speak about Xbox and the way a former PlayStation developer like Shawn Layden speaks about Xbox. Shawn Layden, who I love, Shawn Layden's great, but he will defend PlayStation like they will chop off a finger if he doesn't. And he works for Tencent. This guy did some amazing stuff, but listening to the way that he talks about the gaming business, he will give all of the flowers to PlayStation, good or bad. He'll just say, oh, they're just amazing. Everything they do is amazing. You push the industry forward. And when it comes to Xbox, they don't know how to do anything. One of the other things that I wanted to explain was that you guys might not like this guy, but I really respect Michael Pachter as a games analyst. And some of his predictions don't come true, but as a games analyst, an industry analyst, he really understands how the business works. And he said that a lot of people who say that Xbox is chaotic and their messaging is all over the place, Xbox is in uncharted waters. No other gaming brand is doing anything like Xbox is doing. Aside from PlayStation putting their games on PC, Xbox is going on PC. Xbox is putting their games on other platforms and making them multi-platform. Xbox is pushing a games cloud service to the entire planet. Xbox has Game Pass, which is unprecedented. It's nothing like PS Plus. And Michael Pachter explains that they may change their messaging or change their strategy from time to time. It's because they're doing something that no one else is doing. They have no one to follow. No one is example to be led by on how they do things. And I don't know, Meg, you and I have enjoyed the fruits of what Xbox does and angered at the things that they do that we don't like. But have you seen anything good come from them going into uncharted waters as a guy who plays on multiple platforms?
Well, yeah. I mean, you talk about the positive things that they've done by going off road. I would say the number one thing that they've done by going off road was going third party. By opening up those games. They've made a ton of money off that, and then they get more exposure from that. Now, how that could work for the future, we don't know. But it does open up possibilities, however slim, but there are possibilities out there. We're saying, well, you know what? I played this game. It was awesome or whatever. I want to play the next one, but I don't want to keep spending $70 or now $80 per game. driving. That was another thing Laura Fryer talked about. They're driving the prices up, and she says by doing that, they're trying to funnel more people into Game Pass, right, into the subscription service, and that's what they want at the end of the day. That's just one option, but it seems to be that's what they're doing. So if you're, let's say, a PlayStation player and you want to get access to, let's say, the next 5 games, but you don't want to pay $80 for every game, then maybe they'll say, you know what, let me see if I can find an easy access to be able to get the Game Pass that I could just pay for 3 months and play all of those games or whatever, right? Or 4 months and play all of those games in one shot. And then there you are, right? So then so that's a positive thing for people on that system. PlayStation on PC, you've had a lot of people migrate from the Xbox ecosystem into the PC, and they're doing that now, which is of course another thing that Microsoft slowly wants everybody to kind of go over to. They basically want you on PC. I don't understand how people don't see that. Some people don't see it. I'm like, guys, they're literally telling you to walk off that cliff, and you're walking off the cliff saying, well, I'm not walking off the cliff. I'm like, but you're doing it right now. You don't even see that you're doing it because they're doing it so slowly. And so what they're doing is that instead of pushing you off the cliff in one shot, they're pushing you down one ledge at a time. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you're on a PC. And that's kind of like, I've heard that they're calling it the great brainwashing. That's a little bit extreme. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to push everybody to that PC platform because they want to streamline everything in one shot. That makes a lot of sense for them financially, and it makes a lot of sense for the accessibility in the future so that there's no convolution, there's no confusion, there's no issues, there's no extra teams having to develop here, develop there, develop here, develop there. Developers. They just develop in one place and then have your dedicated team of 20 people, 25 people, whatever it is going to be that's working on the PlayStation version, and that is it. You save a ton of money on R&D, a ton of money on labor and staffing, and you get the games out there and you make your billions, and that's all they want to do at the end of the day. So I see those as the positive things. Negative, I could tell you the negative thing, once again, we talked about it 10 minutes ago, is the messaging. Is that for some people, I mean, I understand, people here tuned into the show, they're tuned into the industry. They know what's going on, right? But we don't represent we represent a blip on the map of the amount of gamers that are out there because we're that hardcore, that 12%, 15%. We don't account for anything. The 85% have no idea what the hell's going on. They don't know that they're doing this PC thing or not PC thing or what's going on. They have no idea. All they'll know is the that console when a new box comes out,
that's it. They'll know about it when it gets announced.
Right. And that's another thing Laura Fryer talked about, where she said the key to all this in the future is it doesn't matter what they do, what they don't do, and everything else. What matters also is going to be how these things land in terms of price. And that's where she was talking about the ROG Ally, based on the fact that it is an existing ROG Ally. They have them priced at $600 for the lowest one, $800, and then $1,000, right? And it says, okay, so we already talked about that ad nauseum. We don't have to talk about that again.
I want to piggyback off something you were saying before it dissolves away. You said that like we're the hardcore 15%. I absolutely agree. If you're here watching the show, hit the like button to show your support. But the 15% of us that watch podcasts that are on social media talking about gaming, I think it's so disingenuous that these hardcore people who are in the discussion about what Xbox is planning in the future will, gosh, it just drives me ape. They will pretend like they are so confused. They're so, I don't know what's going on, and I'm really confused, and it's so chaotic. You lying sack of crap. You are the hardcore. You know exactly what's going on. Like, these people are so keyed in on what is the possibility. They act like they didn't see Sarah Bond's announcement. This is like the big gotcha moment this morning where all the GameSpot, IGN, VGC, a bunch of these big prominent gaming sites are saying Xbox is the hardware industry or hardware business is dying for Xbox, says former founder of Xbox. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, they're so right. How do we know? How are we going to know what they're going to do? Like, you act like you haven't been paying attention to getting into arguments with everybody you can ever type to online about what Xbox's console is going to be or not. You already know that it's going to be a PC/console or a hybrid or whatever it's going to be, because you're out there telling people it's not an Xbox. You're telling people it's a PC. You know exactly what Xbox is doing. These guys know better than I do sometimes. they're pretty sure these detractors, Mag, they think Xbox is probably going to put out either an OEM thing made by like Lenovo or Asus. It'll be a console Steam box, or they're just going to do their traditional thing and it's going to have support on PC and it's going to play PlayStation games because that gets under the band around their underwear that goes around the bottom of their leg and just irritates them to no end because they don't want this thing to exist. And then they pretend these are the same people that told you that moms and grandmas would be so confused when they go to the store to buy an Xbox Series S or X. There'd be the little white box and the big black box. Oh, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. While these same people go and buy refrigerators, TVs, cars, every product in the world has multiple SKUs, and people act like, I think it's just concern trolling to the nth degree. Oh my gosh, you guys are driving me crazy, these people. And I see it in the chat. The chat's like, people know better. They just want Xbox to leave the console business so they can say, you know what? I was right. I knew they couldn't hack it. Let me read some supers that are asking some of these questions. Andy Hart, thank you so much for the £5 super. Says, good morning, Colt. Mag, question for you, Mag. Do you think the PS5 Pro is a decent upgrade from the base PS5?
Yes, absolutely. There was only a handful of games that did not work out well, and they fixed those by now. But for the most part, whenever you see like I generally don't like to watch Digital Foundry because I'm not one of those guys, but I do see their reports quite often. And whenever they talk about a new game like Assassin's Creed Shadows, obviously Death Stranding 2, and some of the other games that are out there, they talked about it and they said it is unprecedented that they have the best version of the games outside of PC, obviously, depending on your hardware, right? So for me, it was worth every penny. And you could see the difference. Like sorry.
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, for example, I was playing Resident Evil Village. I got 4K 60 with ray tracing on, and I'm just like, whoa. And people in the chat when I was playing the game where they're like, dude, do you have the like ray tracing on? This looks amazing or whatever. And that was on a stream. So you're not even getting like, you know, the raw footage that I'm getting. You're getting a streamlined version of that, and it still looks unbelievable, right? So, yeah, for me, it was worth every penny. I enjoy it, and I love it for what it is. So, and then the thing is, at the end of the day, I know, like for example, Mooch talks about it. He talks about his Moochonomics. He says, well, when I decide to buy a next piece of hardware, let's say for a next-gen console, if I have a Series X or Series S or a PS5, I will not get as much on the trade-in as I would for a Pro because you have this incremental upgrades of technology, right? So he says, so when I trade that thing in, I might get $350 for that to go towards the possible $800 console
instead of like
in the
200,
future. Instead of 200. So he goes, so I get the better technology for a short while, and then I get the better trade-in later on down the road. So, and that's what I guarantee I'll get at least, well, $350 America, I could get $400 Canadian for this thing. Right? When I trade it in for a PS6 or whatever the hell they're going to call this new Xbox.
Well, what do you call it? Moochonomics?
He calls it that, not me. Moochonomics.
It's kind of like they make fun of like the wives' economics when they're like, I spent this much so I could save 20%. If you don't spend on the upgrade, you didn't spend the extra money, but the jump just doesn't feel as bad, I guess. BT Maverick says, short answer, no. Sarah Bond announced last week their partnership with AMD to make more first-party consoles and handhelds. Those scorned Xbox employees. Let me grab this tweet from, I will read it to you instead of showing you on screen. The tweet from Stein, I think I retweeted. He said...
Pronounced Stein.
Stein's amazing. He said, he puts a screenshot of the announcement saying, quote, announcing that we are building the next generation of Xbox first-party devices and cloud, including our future Xbox consoles, together with AMD. I don't know. It's like, it just couldn't be any more clear than saying, including our future Xbox consoles. That's a direct quote from Xbox 1 week ago, June 17th. But the other counter argument to that is, Xbox said it was just 4 games, and they went back on that. We'll get into that in just a moment.
You know, the thing is, sorry. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go with the super chat.
No.
We'll talk about it later. We'll put a pin on that. I was just going to say one thing. I said, I think what a lot of people are arguing now, which I'm watching sort of from a distance, because I don't get involved in any of that crap anymore. I'm just not interested. We could talk about it on a podcast. That's different. Yeah. I stay out of all arguments. I stay out of the Twitter stuff. I read everything that people say from,
Can you tell me to do that too?
A guy with three, what's that?
Can you tell me to do that too, what you're doing? Stay out of arguments?
I see you get into them sometimes, you and
just
Jazz.
mess me and go, Colt. Colt.
Yeah. Colt's always got to like throw the fire. You got to drop a grenade in the room and he runs. And then it just causes chaos.
You're right. COL-LTT. And that's Colt. That's what you need to send me when I'm arguing.
Colt. Yeah. That's what Colt does. He like walks in the room. There's a bunch of people talking and then he pulls out a grenade. He drops it. And he runs out and then that's it. Chaos. But I watch these people talking and arguing and this and that. And I'm just like, I think what the thing is that people are saying because of this Asus ROG Xbox Ally X thingy babobber, I think people are saying, is the next gen hardware just going to be a third-party company making it and they're going to put a sticker on it? Or is it being made in-house? Now, we have heard both things. We have heard that which obviously they're doing right now with Asus, and they're doing that now with the handheld. But we've also heard that there was at least there were two projects being worked on in-house, right? The dedicated box under the table and the Surface Team experiment, which may have just been an experiment. I mean, corporations do that all the time. They might go through 1,000 prototypes that we don't even, you know what I mean? That we never see the light of day. But either way,
this dockable like Surface/Xbox handheld that may have ended up saying, you know what, let's work with Asus instead of working on this Surface idea. And that was like back in 2022, 2023.
Yeah. But like you know what I mean? So the point is that at the end of the day, we don't know what we're getting. And I think it could be like, if it's Asus, if it's another company or whatever, and they say, okay, well, we're making the hardware. You guys put your sticker, slap your sticker on there, put your Windows 11 and your Game Pass on there. Yeah. And whatever the UI that's what I meant to say. You guys put your UI in there, and then we go off we go, and we have.
Let me ask you a
does it
question.
make a difference? Yeah.
And then audience, you can also say your answer out loud. If the next Xbox console is made by Asus and Xbox hardware team, and on the case, it has an Asus embossed logo, but on the top, it has the big white Xbox power button. And they say in the marketing leading up that we partner with Asus to make the next Xbox console. And it plays all of your Xbox games natively. Like, you will load up the Xbox Dash and it just plays your games. But it also has access to all these PC games. Do you still think that's an Xbox console? If Xbox didn't make the whole entire thing by themselves, which
does it matter though? Well, like the thing is, like, does it really matter? Like, the thing is, if you have access to all your stuff, people can call it whatever they want. Whatever makes you sleep at night, call it an Xbox. If people are going to call it an Asus.
There's going to be people that call it a PC, and there's going to be people that say it's an Xbox. Dang it! There's going to be each side they don't want Xbox to exist. I have a good friend in the chat, Keith. I would really love to hear his insight on. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the Xbox Series X that we have now, how much of that is made by Xbox completely? Because we know that it's got an AMD SoC in it. It's got Toshiba or Samsung parts. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I looked at the guts when Digital Foundry did the breakdown, but they're buying parts. But I think the Xbox hardware team they design the case, they design the cooling, they make everything. So I think it is like 100% an Xbox. It's like an Xbox vehicle with an AMD motor in it. It's really all it is. It is like pretty much, it's probably just an Xbox. But maybe Xbox is saying, we're going to make the next console. It's going to be your console. You're not losing anything. In fact, you're just going to gain features, if anything. But
yeah, that's fine. Like,
we're going to subsidize. Xbox may subsidize the R&D and manufacturing and everything that goes into the next console. And I'm just speculating that part of that console, like maybe half of it or 30% of it, is going to be Asus or Lenovo or Razer But the rest, it's going to be just an Xbox package. I don't think Xbox can do what they've always done. They have to do things a little bit differently because of the market position they're in. But in my opinion, I'm with Mag. Does it matter? No. Is it an Xbox? Yes, it's an Xbox. And people don't
care
like
what
that.
it is. I'm not going to argue about it. Some people are saying like I've seen people argue online that Expedition 33 is an Xbox game. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, just play the game. You have access to it. I know, but people are trying to tie in that kind of argument with let's say, for example, a third-party machine with an Xbox sticker on it. And then they're like, oh, well, it's the same thing. And now this is an Xbox. That's an Xbox. And I'm like, that is a tagline that Microsoft created to make you repeat that over and over till you believe it. That's fine. It's an Asus, like the handheld, for example. That's not an Xbox. That is an Asus product that's out in the market now, and it has the Xbox UI installed into it.
Xbox is saying it is an Xbox, but I would say it's not an Xbox console. Until it can play your games natively, it's not an Xbox console device.
Oh, okay. I wasn't even talking about that. I was just talking about the fact that it's literally like, you can't take my car and put a Porsche sticker on and say, well, that's a Porsche. I'm like, it's not a Porsche. Well, it's got a Porsche engine in it. I'm like, okay, well, you did that, but anyway, we're just splitting hairs here. It shouldn't matter. What I'm trying to get at is that people arguing about this stuff online, not me, I don't care. But people are arguing about this stuff online. I'm like, guys, does it play all your stuff? Yes. Are you happy? Yes. Are you playing games on it? Yes. Then shut up.
Capono in the chat goes, surely Colt can see that Microsoft wants away from the hardware.
What are you talking about? Like in terms of the, well, they want to cut production costs. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, they do.
I think that by partnering with these other guys, let them do the heavy lifting, and then they do what they do best, which is UI, software, and services. Microsoft is all about software, services, and UI. And that is something that makes sense for them. So yes, I do see them wanting what did I say at the beginning of the show? They want everybody on PC eventually. They just want that so that it's your effing problem. You go out and deal with the hardware.
I don't agree with that, but I think maybe the future is
I'm not talking tomorrow, dude.
Consoles are a burden for PlayStation and Nintendo and Xbox in their own ways. But Capono, I'm going to read this announcement from Xbox to you again, but I'm going to do it slowly. All right, are you ready? Announcing that we're building the next generation of Xbox first-party devices. I'll stop there because that's hardware. And cloud. Now, I covered this in my video. Cloud, they're rebuilding cloud from the ground up to be more powerful than the current GeForce Now that runs on 4080 GPUs. The RTX 4080s. So the next generation of Xbox Cloud is going to be a killer PC when it launches. Here's the rest of it, Capono, including our future Xbox consoles together with AMD. So not only is Microsoft trying to get out of hardware, like you said, they are making probably 4 different devices in a family of first-party Xbox hardware. Keith, are you listening to this? This is amazing, isn't it? Getting through to people. Yeah, thank you, Capono. I'm just giving you a hard time. We're having fun here together because we're good friends.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
The likely scenario is that Xbox is either going to make their own handheld eventually, or the next handheld they make with Asus will have the actual Xbox SoC in it. Right now, they're making one with the AMD Z2 AI chip. They're probably going to have Asus help them make the next one early on in the next generation that has the actual Xbox console SoC, which means it'll have full compatibility with all your Xbox games you do now. So they're going to do a handheld. They're going to do a traditional console. They're doing the cloud, which is not really hardware. They're doing some other stuff that they're saying because they don't tell us yet. And then I think they're going to do these OEM Steam style boxes. And this is Razer, Lenovo, or Asus making their own PC box that is, instead of having a GPU of their choosing, it'll have the Xbox SoC. You're talking the chip combination on a board with a memory array, and then the rest is all custom built the way they want to build it. and they sell it to you for $1,000 and it plays every PC game, every Xbox game, which means that the next Xbox console and the Steam boxes that they make, I can't call them Steam boxes because they're not made by Steam. You're talking about a PC that plays every PC game plus every Xbox game. No PC. There's no PC on this planet, and I have a $3,000 one right here. There's no PC on this planet that can play the 1,000 Xbox games I own. They are invisible. They are unplayable. That ownership is not there. So this Xbox is really, really making hardware. As long as they're going to move forward and they don't close down the hardware team, but that would really bite me in the rear end, wouldn't it? If they announce layoffs and the layoffs are so big, they're like, Jason Ronald's gone, the hardware team's gone, we're going to let somebody else make our console, then I'll be eating my shoes. But that's where we're at.
Listen, man, I think there was something
Fawn
else.
says,
I
sorry, Fawn says, plus I forgot the coupe de gras, which is Italian for cup of noodles. The coupe de gras is that it'll also play almost all the PlayStation games moving forward. It's going to be, it's going to be crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, yes, sir. By the way, that's something else. That's not a fighting point for some people. Colt is just pointing it out, which he's not wrong. But it's not like that's another fighting point I see online too. It's like, guys, yes, you will get those PlayStation games, and that's wonderful. You'll get to play your God of War Ragnaroks, your Horizon Forbidden Wests, your Ratchet and Clanks, whatever. You'll get to do that. However, you may have to wait a year, right?
Yep.
You might have to wait 2, depending on how long it takes. You are not getting those day and date. I've seen people say that too, and I'm like, what are you even talking about? But because, anyway, we don't have to talk about that. We understand that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, what needs to be talked about here is, again, Laura Fryer. I'm going to go back to that video. She did say something else where she talked about all of this is really inconsequential because it depends on the price points of what they're going to be marketing moving forward. And it starts with the ROG Xbox Ally X. It starts there. We have to see where these things are priced. And then from there, you'll be able to see whether that ecosystem is going to remain the same, whether it's going to grow, or whether it's going to flounder. A lot of it is going to be based on price. And so what she was projecting that the handhelds will be around the same prices as the ROG Allies are now, because it makes the most sense considering they are literally the same piece of tech. So she goes, I can't see them changing that. She goes, but the big question is, what are the consoles going to be priced at? And that is where we're going to see how this is going to move forward, because people could talk about this all day long, right? We could say, yeah, great, wonderful, this, that, good, bad, whatever.
Can't wait.
But if all of a sudden, can't wait, this and that. But then all of a sudden they're like, it's how much? And then you're going to watch how many people are going to just sit there stunned for a little while and then just be like, well, maybe I'll have to wait. And the thing is, why are you going to wait?
How much, Mag? What's your best guesstimate? Give me your years of wisdom.
Well, I mean, if you just look at history, which is our greatest teacher, unlike like this, the PS5 Pro is $700, right? I can't see anything priced under $700 or $799 for the next consoles moving forward, which would be between $700 and $800 for a next gen console, whether it's PlayStation 6 or whether it's the Asus Xbox. I don't even know what I'm just making a joke. Whatever the next Xbox is going to be called, Series X2, the Revenge, I don't know, Electric Boogaloo. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be called Series X2 Electric Boogaloo. Ladies and gentlemen, I already found out from Gandalf over at Microsoft there. What's his name? Jason Ronald told me it is Series
Boogaloo.
X2 Electric Boogaloo. It's coming soon to a theater near you. Colt and I will be breakdancing.
Indulge us for just a moment. You and I will kind of let's kind of riff on this. What do you really, if somebody's like grabs you by the shirt and is like, what is the name going to be? And don't give me any crap. Like, you got to give me your solid prediction. What is the name of the next Xbox console?
Well, they're really bad at doing numbers. So they couldn't just go Xbox One, Xbox 2, Xbox 3, Xbox 4. They went from Xbox to 360 to Xbox One to Xbox One X to Series X to Series S. At this point,
they have a naming convention that they started, which was S is the lower tier model, X is the premier model. So they carry that,
took that
an extra
Samsung
generation.
and Apple. They
Yeah.
did that with Samsung, and they took a page from Samsung and Apple. They do that, right?
Yeah.
They do the the iPhone I whatever this and
You
that.
think
whatever.
it could
And then
be
Samsung, the
Xbox Series
S21.
X2?
Yeah, that would make the most prudent. That sounds prudent. That
What
sounds
about
right to me,
this?
because I mean, yeah, go for it.
What if they pull the little backflip move they did with the 360? They knew the PS3 was coming, and so they wanted the second Xbox to have a 3 in it. They didn't want to call it Xbox 3 because it's their second one. So somebody at Microsoft was like, let's call it the Xbox 360. Then we have the 3 in there next to the PS3. What if the next Xbox has a V1 or a 6 in it, like Xbox 6 or Xbox 6
Saying
Xbox 666? Like, that could be amazing. That's like right in Microsoft branding.
The devil machine. I'm in. I don't know.
Or
dude,
Xbox 11, because it's gonna have Windows 11 on it.
What?
You know, Xbox
That would drive
11.
people insane. That's like
Hold on.
like Fallout 76.
Hold on. Xbox original, Xbox
360,
360, Xbox 60 Elite, Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, Xbox All Digital, Xbox Series X. Dang it! They can't call it the Windows 11 because they're still one short. We were close. I don't know.
Just call it the X2 for Christ's sake. Call it the Series X2. That's it.
No, then Randolph Thor and Jez will get like tons of clicks on their podcast because people will think they're buying the console.
We can't have that.
Noisy Mofo, change your picture.
What is this picture? I can't see it. I didn't see it. Xbox Puck. Yeah.
Look at Noisy
What?
Mofo's
What'd he do?
picture. Scroll up.
I gotta find
two scrolls.
I gotta find him.
He's in green.
God, the chat's moving so fast. Dude, we got 708 people here. I'm trying to catch up. And
welcome.
Yeah. By the way,
Fusion.
welcome to that. Amazing.
That is amazing.
Anyways, I'll find it. Anyways, we'll get back to it.
Let me read this. We got Broke Boy Insider. Thank you. Says, keep up the good work, guys. Love all the chat, except for the PlayStation fanboys. Just kidding. You guys are entertaining. Appreciate it. You also sends a $2 super. Thank you so much. Do you know the Broke Boy? Says, did you see the Chris Drink post? Did you find it?
All right. I saw it.
Yeah.
Well,
I will never live that down.
I think he had my face as his profile picture at one point, or somebody does. And the funny thing is, it's not from any of my social media stuff. I'm like, where did you even find that picture? And I looked at it.
Found you on Grindr.
Dude, it was either on Grindr or when I was at Disneyland. By the way, Taco Chef Forever says hello, by the way.
Hi, Taco Chef.
He's reaching out to me on he's reaching out to me on the Xbox app right now. We're just having a little chitty chat. He says, say hi to Colt and let him know that I appreciate him.
Yeah, thank you, Taco Chef. Sorry, I see your messages a lot, and thank you for sending messages out. I haven't written them back in a minute.
He told me to go to hell, but he said he appreciates you. Yeah, obviously.
I mean, I tell you to go to hell as much as I can. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now.
He's Xbox Spice.
Done. Oh, crap, I sent that to my mom.
Oh, dude. Oh, there it is. Colteastwood, go to hell. He just sent that to me personally, ladies and gentlemen. That's horrifying.
Do you know the Broke?
Yeah,
do you know the Broke Boys? Thank you for the 10. He goes, did you see Chris String post about Death Stranding 2? The physical sales are 60% lower. 66% lower than Death Stranding 1, but then adds, quote, it's a new era. More people are now buying digital. Has he ever given that caveat for Xbox games? I saw the post, and I saw him say every time he gives the caveat to explain why physical sales are down on Xbox. Maybe he does. I don't remember, but sometimes we can kind of sniff out when people are protecting their favorite thing, but Chris String's favorite thing is Nintendo. It's not PlayStation. So, yeah, I did see that. Lotus Supreme, thank you so much for the $20 super chat and says hi to Infinite. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Valiant Tempest with a $10 super. Thank you so much. Says, Mag, when you want this smoke on Mario Kart, my man, hit me up and get you some. Love the content, fellas. Screw console wars. Let's play some games. You losers.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Just play some games. You know what the funny thing is? I got a bunch of guys watching me, guys and gals, watching me do streams or whatever, and I'm playing Death Stranding 2 on my PS5 Pro, and I don't hear anybody bitching and moaning about that I'm playing on a PlayStation.
That's
you know why?
It's lonely over there.
We're having a good time. They're loving the streams. We're having some fun. We're having a few laughs. I see a bunch of maggots in the chat right now. Joey Abs is in the chat, and a lot of people are in there. And like, you know what? We're having a good time. No one's sitting there going, "What are you playing on a pro, you effing pony, and this and that and blah blah." Everybody's like, "Hey, this looks like fun."
You know what would be amazing?
Boring. What?
It would be amazing if there was something that I could do that says that you're in the stream with me and your channel members could chat as well. Like we could combine forces and people could add you as a channel, as to their channel membership as well. I'm going to look in to see if there's something like that. I never even thought about it, but like your channel's blowing up and we have to take advantage of it. Chris, thank you so much for the 5. Halo Studios announced today. Oh yeah, I didn't even put this on the list.
What? They announced something? I missed it.
Yeah, they're like, hey, Master Chief is dead. No, thank you, Chris. Chris is going to bring us our next topic, and we will get back into the other stuff because we're not even done. Chris says Halo Studios announced today we will see more about what they've been cooking at the Halo World Championship in October. Any idea which project they will reveal?
Son of a bitch. Well, first of all, I'm reaching out to my people that I'm gonna be like, where were you in this one, guys? I didn't hear any info. I heard nothing. My guys are sleeping right now. They're all on summer vacation. About Halo. Dude, I haven't heard much of anything at all, except for the one video where I posted last week about the Elder Scrolls 6 getting a pretty big internal delay. Internal delay. I have to keep repeating that. They're like, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I literally put it in the title, internal delay. Anyways, that's the last bit of news I got. My guys are on summer vacation or something. I think that we will get word on the Halo remake for the 25th anniversary of Xbox.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
The new game, maybe they'll tease a title next year at the 25th anniversary, but I don't think we'll see it. I mean, like they're barely what, a couple of years in? Barely a couple of years in on development of that game. And from my understanding, they're working on 3 projects. So they're working on an offshoot, the Halo remake, plus a new mainline Halo game, right? So I mean, that's a lot to, you know what I mean, for a new studio to be able to take in. And let's face it, 343's management sucks. So
Halo Studios.
They probably had no, I'm saying when 343 was there, what I'm saying. 343, their managerial team sucked. And as a result of that caused a lot of chaos in the company. Now they rebuilt this thing, but a lot of those people are still there. So they probably had to purge a lot of people out of there and start bringing in some different talent in terms of, not talent, but different managers in order to, like, you know, take over the studio. Because let's face it, you know, you change it from 343 to Halo Studios, most of the people that were at 343 are there. Right? So I think they had to like do a lot of internal structuring. So between internal structure changes and only 2 years in, I don't see them talking about the new mainline Halo next year. I think it's too soon. I mean, maybe they'll do like a placeholder, like a, you know, like remember like Metroid? Remember they did like Nintendo Metroid Prime 4, and then they didn't show it for 5 years.
That's a good name for the next Xbox.
The Xbox Metroid Prime 4.
The Xbox Raleigh XX Raleigh X Rally X Colin McRae Metroid Prime 4 Xbox S2 digital. Yeah.
That sounds perfect. I mean, it rolls right off the tongue. You know what I mean?
It's like Microsoft's like, yes, stamp it.
Yeah, like, yeah, that's the one. Just call it an Xbox Prime or call it an Xbox Infinity or something. That's it. There you go. Xbox Infinity. There you go.
Xbox Last. Yeah, Xbox our last console.
I want Sony to call the next PlayStation the No PS6 just for King David.
Wouldn't that be nice? And then they got to pay him $1 every time they print that on the box.
Can you imagine they put that on the box and like what's his face comes out there and then he's like, here is the PlayStation No PS6. Hashtag No PS6.
Mark Cerny's like,
thank you, Mr. David. Yeah. with his church lady outfit on in the closet. Yeah. Anyways, carry on.
He's got that wild polo shirt that, you know, back in the day. Yeah, I used him in a couple thumbnails. He's amazing. I got to figure out where I was.
I still think he's a serial killer.
Yeah, Halo. Yeah, I'm with Mag. I think it's probably that Halo remake. Yeah, probably. And I'm with Mag on that too. I think maybe they're only a year or two into that. I guess they're going to say, hey, we're making the remake and here's what one level looks like. And we're going to be like, oh, 2 more years or whatever. Tip Top Dalton, thank you so much for the $2, says, is Xbox Live going to be free? Please elaborate. I think so. Mag doesn't believe though, but
No.
If
Why would they cut off a gravy train that everybody's happy that apparently is happy to pay right now? They've rolled it into Game Pass Ultimate.
Yes. I think there's a couple of layers there. My take is that with Windows on the next Xbox and Steam and all these other platforms that do not have to pay for live, Xbox is going to have to take that away, or they're going to look really, really stupid. They already look stupid for charging for it anyway. But my prediction is what they're going to do is they're going to have next generation, they're going to have a whole new tier system, and they're going to hide that Xbox Live by, I think they're going to take a little bit of that, make us still pay, but use it in an increase for Game Pass and cloud or something. And then, excuse me, I think they're going to eat some of it, but I think they're going to kind of feed the rest of that burden onto us because it's money they've relied on for 20 years and they can't just lose that revenue. I think they're going to be the good guys, but also kind of still make us eat it somehow. That's my take, Mag. That's how I think they make Xbox Live free in next generation. Because
console players are the middle. Yeah, console players are the middle class of the gaming society. They basically give tax breaks to the rich, and they basically carry the poor on their backs. So, console gamers are literally the middle class of gaming. We have to pay for everything. We're paying all the taxes. We're doing all that stuff. We're not and then everybody else reaps the benefits from it. So they're never going to get rid of that. I think that's going to be basically a toll we're going to have to pay as long as a console exists. You're going to be paying for online.
What do you guys? Do you agree with Meg?
Game Pass.
You think they're going to make us pay for that in perpetuity? Part of me agrees with you, Meg, but I think they're going to put themselves in a position where they can no longer. No, I did not. But they can no longer charge for live when their customers are essentially PC and console customers.
Well, why do you think they rolled it into Game Pass? They rolled it into Game Pass to put it in a way that it's basically like, okay, well, right. And then, but I mean, like, even like with Ultimate, you're getting Ultimate, plus you're getting day one games, plus you're getting the online kind of bundled in there. People are basically just going to look at that and say, okay, well, I'm paying my $20 a month. A lot of people aren't even thinking about paying online. I think in their mind, they're like, well, it's $20 for Game Pass, because you see the way people talk, Colt. Us included.
Here's what they're going to do. Right, they're going to increase Game Pass PC to $12 to $14 a month next generation instead of $10. And they're going to increase $1 or $2 for regular Game Pass members, because what they need to do for every customer that plays for live, they need to get like $5 a month out of you just for the privilege to play online, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think they're going to put a couple bucks on the tiers for regular consumers that are in Game Pass and cloud, and they're going to make them eat part of it, but the rest they're going to have to just suck it up. And hopefully it works. I don't care if it works out for them. F them. They shouldn't be charging us to pay online. So I sort of agree with some of it, but just Gordon of Windows Central and Xbox 2 Podcast has said they're probably going to have to get out of charging for live somehow, that they just can't. They're going to put themselves in a position that they just cannot do it anymore. It's not.
No, they won't.
Not fair.
I disagree with it. I disagree with it wholeheartedly, and I'll tell you why. Because they've bundled it into Game Pass price, and they're raising the Game Pass price, by the way, by $5. We will see when exactly that's going to happen. No, it'll be well before next gen. But let's just say the $20 right now. So if they decide to make the online free, okay, they're not doing it anymore. Are they going to charge you $17 for Game Pass Ultimate now? Because now you're not paying for online?
Yeah, that's
not
true.
A chance in hell. You're going to continue to pay your $20 and you're going to shut up and you're going to take it. All right? Like lovemaking in prison. You have no choice. Okay? You just bite your pillow and think about happy things. So that's what's going to end up happening. You're not getting a decrease in price. So whatever what Randall Thor is saying, and Mr. Corden, I disagree with wholeheartedly. They will not make it free because they will not back down on the price. In fact, all they're going to be doing is increasing them. So the fact that it's going to be going up to $25 at some point, you think they're going to say, well, we're not charging for online anymore. So guess what? Game Pass Ultimate instead of 25 is now going to be 20.
I will
literally eat No, I'm saying like when it gets to $25, you think they're going to say, well, now that online's free next gen, now we're going to only charge $21 for Game Pass Ultimate because you're not paying for online.
I agree with that.
I will literally eat this hat live on the air with ketchup and mustard if that ever happened. And I can tell you, I
don't think so. Yeah,
they're never going to go back on it. You're going to keep paying it for as long as you live, or as long as they live, and corporations will outlive us, unfortunately.
Yeah, Elko992 in the chat said I'll add an extra word. They essentially tried to double the price of Live back in 2021. I'm pretty sure it's 2021. I remember that. And everyone threw a fit. It wasn't really doubling it, but it doubled it for a lot of people in certain scenarios. Yes. It's absolute bullcrap. And we rose up and said, we shall not stand for this at all.
You shall not charge us. And didn't they reverse it the same night? Because I remember I did it
was 8 hours later. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was doing a podcast with Noof Nukem and Titan Drago, and we were talking about it for a couple of hours, and then we went off the air. So we're like, Titan's okay, that's it. We're done for the night. Noof. Yeah, he's a great dude. He's a great guy. And we're doing the show, whatever. We're like, all right, everybody, have a good night, whatever. Like 10 minutes after we got off the air, they announced that, and then we were talking about it for like 2 hours on the show. And 10 minutes after we got off the air, they announced it. So we went back on the air. Noof called me and he goes, dude, do you want to go back on? I'm like, all right. We went on till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Holy smokes.
We just kept going because then we ended up just going back on the air and it turned into a whole other show. So we ended up doing 2 podcasts about it. That was a wild night. That was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Red Wolf. Yeah. Shout out to Titan and Noof Nukem. They're Titan Drago, Noof Nukem. They're great guys. Red Wolf Renegade, another really great guy. Check out his video. He did a video about the new updates for Stalker 2 and got some great views on it. Like, I know he's super happy because
lovely.
He busts his butt. Like when this news breaks, he like jumps out of bed. And he's like, there's an update. And he goes and makes a video. So he says, quote, do you think the next mainline Xbox console will even have Xbox in the name to avoid any retaliation from PlayStation? I think he means in reference to the games being playable on there, or it will be Xbox Series something.
It'll be Series something. I think that's the most prudent answer. Yeah.
And I think it will have an Xbox name. It'll be called the Xbox something,
Yes, of course, but that's the brand.
Yeah, Red Wolf, your first clue is the Xbox ROG Ally that all the PlayStation fans don't want you to call it an Xbox. It is literally called an Xbox ROG Ally. The MetaQuest 3 is called the Xbox MetaQuest. It will definitely be branded that way, and you can play PlayStation games on that MetaQuest in theater mode or whatever. So, Yodonic Izada, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, is it a Geostorm or a Toyota Corolla with a logo? Yeah. Shout out to Yodani. Like, not many people would know what a Geostorm is. I think in the mid to late 90s, those cars no longer, you will never see one on the road.
They're gone. The last one I saw was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't seen one since, but I remember I'm like, oh,
what was the Geostorm? Was the hatchback? It was shaped like a tear duct. And it was a tear shape. It was a 3-cylinder.
Was it made by Saturn?
No. Geo was its own brand. They were like the Kia of the early 90s. And the Geo Prism, I think the Geo Prism was a cool looking, like little sporty looking car. I'm gonna Google it right now. The Geo Prism. These are things you don't bring these up anymore. Oh, the Geo Prism will just look like a Toyota Corolla. Yeah, it's just a sedan, very plain looking bubbly sedan. Interesting. Let me look at the Geostorm and waste everybody's time. Thank you everybody for being here. No, Geostorm is the cool sporty looking one. It looks like a mini 90s Camaro. The pointy. Yeah. Anyway, I wish I could put that on the screen, but it'd probably blow up everything. Thank you, Donnie, for trip down memory lane. What was the Geo hatchback? Now I have to.
Dude, I don't remember.
Now I gotta look.
I don't remember.
I'm sorry. Write in the chat. What was your very first car that you had when you started driving?
Holy crap! That blue number had a Geo tracker.
Metro. The Metro was the hatchback. She had a tracker.
There you go.
Dude, those things would tip over.
Well, she's still here, so obviously she's all right.
I'm going to write. You guys are going to love this. Right now, I'm about to write. Well, you're seeing it already, the way the live works. This was my very first car right there. The Dodge Colt E. E was the trim model, which was the base model of the Dodge Colt. made by Mitsubishi. I'm so glad we brought this up, Meg, because my Dodge Colt, it looked like a hatchback of, it was silver. It looked a lot like a less cool DeLorean. It really did look like a DeLorean if it was a hatchback and not as sporty. Very much shaped like a DeLorean. And it was silver, and it was a Dodge, and it said Dodge, and it said Colt E on the back, and it said imported for Dodge. And if you pop the hood, Mag, and this goes to our conversation about Xbox, there are badges. Badges? Badges?
You don't need no stinking badges. Yeah.
There's badges on it that say made by Mitsubishi, and the engine has a Mitsubishi logo on it because Mitsubishi made the engine, put a bunch of parts in there, and Dodge put the shell on and the rest. And there's your
So what you're saying is your car was an Xbox.
Right.
Okay.
Let me go back.
All right, I just want to make sure.
What was your favorite first car,
sure
Mag?
that we're all.
I had the 1987 Dodge Colt E.
It was a 90s Honda Accord. No, not Accord. Honda, not a Civic.
Prelude?
Was it a Honda Accord? Maybe no. It was like a smaller one. I can't remember my brother will remember because we had to share it. My brother and I had to share the car because we were still living at home together, and it was we didn't have the money for that kind of stuff.
It wasn't a Soul, was it?
Did.
Del Sol?
No, Jesus, no, good Lord. But my own first owned car was a Acura Integra special edition.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, that was my first
88 Ford Tempo. My friend had the Mercury Topaz, which is the same.
I know the Mercury Topaz.
Yeah. I think they're the same. The Ford Tempo. Yeah, and I remember he was like, "Check this out." And we were driving, and he steps on the gas to rev the thing and get it going. He goes, "Check this out," and he goes, and the thing just died. We rolled over the side of the road, and we had to walk the rest of the way. So, dude, the 90s were amazing. Like, it was just your car and your music in the car, like your tape, your mixtape in your car and your friends. There was nothing else. There was, we're old. James Black 94, thank you so much for the $5 super, says, as long as the next Xbox can play all the adult games on Steam, that's all that matters. He's going to play like Hot Date Simulator or Foot Fetish 32 or whatever. What are those games you buy on Steam?
Yeah, I play Foot Fetish 32 on Steam. Yeah, and CS:GO. Yeah, there's nothing better than a 22-year-old shooter with stick figures running around. Everybody's like, "Yeah, the greatest game ever." I saw that. I saw Alex.
CS:GO is one of the dirtiest, foulest, most disgusting games you could ever play on Steam. It's just gross. Sorry, go ahead.
Dude, I saw Alex and a couple of other guys arguing about CS:GO about something. It was on Twitter. Did you see that? Like 2 days ago, and everybody's fighting about it, and I'm like, what are you guys fighting about? A crap game from 22 years ago. But apparently everybody's still playing it on PC. You buy a $4,000 graphics card to play that? Come on, man. Jeez Louise.
I know, that's what I worked with a guy that had like a $5,000 PC and all he plays League of Legends. I'm like,
or Dota.
Yeah, Dota. Dota's what he played. Yeah. Fahim Scott goes Boyfriend Dungeon. That was what was that Hot Dad Simulator game or something, or Hot Dads? Steam.
JV Smooth. That was right. They were arguing about something about casuals can't play CS:GO.
Yeah, who was he arguing with, JV?
I don't remember, but you know what's funny? I was actually going to intervene just for fun.
Oh, Nib. It was Nib. It was Nib arguing.
Oh, him and Nib were fighting. Okay.
Yes.
So they're arguing about that. And he says about casuals can't play CS:GO. And then I was going to say, actually, nobody should be playing CS:GO. And I was just going to start a whole new war and then just walk away from it. Like I farted in a room and just left. Right. I was just like, see you later, guys. And that was it. And then, but then I just like, nah, I'm not going to get involved. But I was watching it just going like, why are people fighting about this? There are so many amazing shooters from this century that you can play.
Yeah, and Lotus Esprit, it knows exactly the game I was talking about. Dream Daddy Simulator. There's all these hunky cartoon dads that you can date, Yeah, Dream Daddy.
Well, there you go. See, Colin, that's what it's called. That's really creepy. Like Colin Prime in the chat, he's saying Gaz plays Minecraft on his $3,500 5090. That's right. That's because Gaz.
Yep.
Is a fraudulent gamer, ladies and gentlemen. That's a fact. That is a fact. I'm sure he's listening right now.
Furious Legacy Gaming says, Crap Gamer just dropped a new video saying Microsoft kills off Xbox. I was chatting with our friend Crap Gamer before the show, and he has this. We were just talking back and forth because he doesn't like the way the Xbox is moving. He just wants them to make just a console and nothing else. And I think he's going to get that, but he doesn't want like the PC stuff in there because he doesn't want to do like the drivers and stuff. But there's a lot of things that he says that I'm like, man, like I would love to give him like a real short class in PC gaming. I've learned a lot over the years, but it's a lot better than it used to be 15 years ago. James Black says, Mag, my first car was a Ford Model T. Phil Spencer, thank you so much for sending 20 channel memberships, gifting them to the chat. We appreciate you.
That must be the real Phil Spencer.
Yeah, it is. He said, we're not making a console, but here's 20 channel memberships, and I'll stop by Mag's live stream sometime.
Hey, Phil Spencer, come by my live stream for crying out loud. Didn't you just get a promotion? Yeah, geez. Help a brother out over here.
Really, and if you go in the description, grab Mag's channel, open up in a new tab, and go subscribe to him and check out. He live streams games, and he's putting out videos like on the moment breaking news, stuff that I never jump out of bed as quickly as he does. So.
Well, I saw the footage of like literally while I was still in bed. I got the video sent to me, the footage sent to me of Battlefield 6 rush mode. And so I literally sat there in bed for 15 and a half minutes watching the video. And I'm like, this is awesome. And then I got up and I'm like, I got to talk about this. And I literally got up, didn't put pants on. And then I went downstairs and I did the video. And then, so watch the video. And I did not have pants on the entire video. But anyways, all joking aside, it was, I'm doing my best. Trying to do my best. James Black, he's in the chat. He goes, Phil flexing that PlayStation money.
Oh, it's so good. Oh,
like, I just bought a cottage with my Forza Horizon 5 money. Yeah, Jay Dunn.
That's great. Machine XP, thank you for the fives. Great. Goes Xbox Wire says next gen X. Let me try this again. Xbox Wire next gen announcement article specifically writes, quote, future first party consoles and cloud. This is a big difference. I see no one mention. Yeah, it's so obvious, but Umbra's right. He said it like an hour ago. They just want Xbox to leave. These people just, and you know, you and I have talked a lot about, we don't really believe in the Xbox tax. Like part of it is Xbox is doing. I think most of what you see that we complain about is it's confirmation bias and reader service. And if you're a site like IGN, 70% of your, I would say a good 70% of their millions of followers are probably PlayStation leaning. So if you write an article like Xbox hardware dead, you're going to appeal to the majority of your audience. And the other ones that don't hate Xbox are going to be really piqued and interested. And you get the bonus of upsetting the 30% of your audience, which is Xbox fans. They're going to be like, what the F? What are you talking about? So it's a win-win to kick the punching bag or kick the dog, which is Xbox. And I don't think it's an Xbox tax. I think it's just you can't lose when you write inflammatory articles about Xbox, because Xbox has been the kicked dog for so long. Nobody wanted them when they first came out. So Jax82, thank you for the 5, says, if anybody played Still Wakes the Deep, they dropped doc just for a documentary about it. A really good game. I didn't play Still Wakes the Deep. It's a horror game.
Either did I.
Yeah.
Either did I. And I usually play games like that, but I didn't. That one I did not get to. However, by the way, speaking of horror, sorry, one quick little thing. Who the hell said it? KY Bob in the chat. He's saying 4K. Where are you shopping, Mag? In regards to what I was talking about, a PC. Dude. Up here in Canada, just the graphics card is $4,060. Not tax not included. That doesn't include a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, a controller, anything. That's even the bloody PC itself. That's just the graphics card. I just checked it right now. Best Buy selling the 5090 for $4,060. For the 32 gig one, the RTX one is $4,800, and that's just for the graphics card. That's nothing else included. So if you want to build a PC around that up here, you're going to be paying a lot of money. Speaking of horror, I just pre-bought, which folks you could do right now. Little Nightmares 3 has been officially announced for October. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 are some of my favorite, you want to call them AA games or indie games of the time. Absolutely incredible, visceral, surreal games out there.
Awesome.
Horror games, absolutely amazing games. The first two, I got 1,000 out of 1,000 on both games. I adored them. I played them both on Xbox. I'm buying it on PlayStation so my wife can have it because she wants to play it. So we game share on that because she doesn't have an Xbox anymore. I told you before she's a pony. So now that being the case, you could buy that. What you do is if you pre-order it now, they give you the next-gen remastered version of the original Little Nightmares for free. You could play it right now.
Oh, yeah, and that was 30 frames when I played that. I played that with my oldest daughter, 1 and 2. Yeah, we would just sit here and take turns like, getting all creeped out. Such a great game. Such a great
so
game.
they did a next gen or this current gen, I guess, like a remaster of the game, and they gave it away for free. So if you pre-order Little Nightmares 3 right now, they will give you that game. They'll give you the PS5 or the Series X and Series S version for free, and you can play it tonight. You can download it immediately.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I was like so jazzed about that.
I should pick that up. Jax82 says it was DLC they dropped. It was just a typo, but 4 still wakes the deep. BT Maverick, thank you for the 5, says Colts on the money here. $5. It's going to be both first party, hybrid, and OEM. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I guess BT Maverick's kind of putting that together that maybe that's some, Xbox devices and no worries. PlayStation games are an easy wait, he says. I would have waited on Death Stranding 2 for PC because I think it's going to be probably 6 months, but I needed something this month until Grounded 2 comes out. And I decided to spend this time playing Death Stranding 2, and I'm glad I am. KY Bob, a channel member for 68 months. Go sub to his channel and check out Game Set Live podcast. He says, have you ever launched a Sony game on Steam through the new Xbox PC app and put it on Twitter and people lose it? I have. Great show, fellas. On PC right now, the Game Bar, I think I've talked about this last week. Maybe I didn't, but you push the Xbox button on PC. The Game Bar pops up. It's like a little mini half version of the dashboard. I can go and launch Stellar Blade from the Xbox Game Bar right now. I can do that. I can launch any Steam game. I can launch any PlayStation game that I own on PC and Steam. That's already a thing, but they're bringing it to handhelds, and then they're going to bring it to PC, and it'll be a big deal. So, Austin,
that's pretty dope. I like that.
It's cool, and people are like, "Oh, you're just launching Steam." It's like, here's the sucky thing.
Who cares what you launch it on?
I know it's like these are the
you're trying to get to the game. Like you're just trying to get to the game.
You're not launching it on Xbox. Oh my God,
you can launch it in a rocket ship. Who cares? Like, what are you trying to do? Are you worried about what it's launching on, or are you trying to get to the game?
Yes, it personally hurts them. Dude, if you don't be mad at Xbox, be mad at PlayStation for putting their games on PC because you hate that they do that so much. But guess what? They're going to continue to do it into the future. And like Meg said, it may be a year, maybe 14 months, it may be 6 months, maybe 2 years. Those games are going to PC. And I don't know. That was funny. I said last week.
Then if you're patient, you want to play it over there, then play it over there in a couple of years. If you can't wait to play Ghost of Yotai, then buy a PlayStation. There's very simple answers out there, folks. There's no point in arguing. You're not entitled to nothing. The corporations are after your money. So what you need to do is find the best access for you to get from point A to point B so that you can get to your destination of entertainment. That's all it is at the end of the day. So do whatever you want to do. Just try and find a way.
Well said. And if Xbox is telling you your next console is going to play a bunch of PC games, plus PlayStation games when they come out to PC, plus all your Xbox games, you should be thinking about how that is good for your wallet and how that's good for you and access to games. You shouldn't be saying, I don't like that PlayStation guys get to play Outer Worlds 2 and Clockwork Revolution. That should be the furthest thing from your mind, especially since it's something that's happening whether you like it or not.
The thing that blows my mind is like, are you accessing those games? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Do you have access to that to the Xbox ecosystem? Yes. Okay. Cool. Do you have Game Pass and do you like it? Yes, I do. Okay. Cool. Then what do you care what everybody else is doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's like worrying about what other people are doing in their private lives. That we're like, I bet you I know what he's doing at home. He must be doing it. Does it affect you? No, but people still talk about that kind of stuff. It's nonsense. It's all nonsense. It shouldn't matter who's playing what and where. And if you're hurt by it, I don't know what to tell you, man. Listen, this is a hobby. This is supposed to be a hobby. For you and I, it's a little more than that. This is content creation that we do on top of that.
Sure.
You and I both have registered companies, now with on the internet and stuff like that. We do this. It's not just our hobby. It's our passion. And it's our passion that also is a business for us as well. However, for all of us, at the end of the day, if you break it down, this is a hobby that's supposed to be fun and supposed to be engaging and having a good time. It's like going to the movie theater and yelling and screaming and punching each other because of what happened in a movie. You may agree with it, you may disagree with it, but you know what? Did you enjoy it? That's what it means at the end of the day. All of this is just noise.
Yeah,
noise.
It is. It's a real noise. Like, it's happening. It drives us crazy. But somebody said, "Oh, can I watch Stranger Things and Squid Games on Disney Plus? Can I? I'm like, no, but you can go to Target and buy those movies or those shows, and you can watch them on whatever you want. And they come with a digital code that lets you watch it on any device that lets you watch TV or movies. This is like, I don't understand how people don't see the correlation where Xbox says, hey, do you own these games? Did you buy them? You should be able to play them however you want. Xbox is the only one besides PC that is saying this, and we should be celebrating it. But instead, we've got pundits out there, and we've got, I want to get into Colin and Mike Ybarra, two guys I really respect, and I want to talk about what they're going to say. But they should be celebrating instead of worrying about if Microsoft's going to make enough money. I don't give a flying crap if Xbox takes, they're going to make enough money. All right. Well, with layoffs happen, then we'll have another question. I don't know how that's going to go. I wanted to go to the supers, but I have to get into this. Colin Moriarty, who runs Sacred Symbols, very smart guy and very smart content creator and podcaster and everything. Got a great platform. He said, never ask the incurious gamer. I'm saying this off of memory. Never ask the incurious gamer what Microsoft stands to benefit from putting their games by allowing people to buy games on Steam on their device. So he ruffled a lot of feathers with that because he's frustrated that Xbox fans are continually saying, I don't care. Because he asks all these people, what does Microsoft stand to benefit if people just start buying their games on Steam, or if people buy games on Steam instead of buying from Xbox? They get no cut of that on their platform. What do they have to stand to benefit from that? Are they going to make money? And the overwhelming answer, Mag, that he gets from Xbox fans is, I don't know, and I don't care. And that frustrates him. He wants them to care. He wants them to give him an answer. Well, guess what? They're not going to give you an answer because they don't care. A gaming consumer and a gaming fan should not care what Microsoft stands to benefit by doing Project Latitude or putting their games on, allowing other people to buy other games on their platform. Apparently, I mean, Microsoft and Xbox make some weird, questionable, slightly dumb decisions from time to time, and I've called them out for it. But when Microsoft says, we're going to let you play and launch your games and buy them from the Steam store directly on our next device, the last thing you should be worried about is if they're going to make money, because obviously someone behind the scenes said, look, we've done the numbers. We're going to bring in more people. We're going to have better retention if people can just play all their games and launch it. Like, if people fall in love with our UI and all their games for once are finally in one place, because I failed to mention, Mag, that because of Xbox's stupidity, that you cannot link an Xbox game, an Xbox first-party game in Steam. On Ubisoft, EA, GOG, I can take all of my games that I own on PC and I can say, where are those? Here's the executable. Okay, so on Steam, picture this. On Steam, I can have all of my PC games inside of Steam. So I can just look in one launcher and see my whole PC library. That's amazing. I cannot add Forza Horizon 5 because Xbox and Microsoft hide the executable. Now, this is all PC nonsense. They've done this for 10 years. So on Steam, I can look at all my games except for Xbox. Well, Xbox is going to pull a 180 and say, with our new system, you'll be able to look at all of your games plus all of our games. Okay? And so Colin's like, never ask the incurious gamer what they stand to benefit from this. This is a long rant. Colin, the word incurious means a person who does not care and is not curious to find the answer to something. If you're frustrated that they don't want to tell you why or what Xbox is going to make, they already told you. They don't care. They're just thinking about themselves. And as a consumer, you should. Sorry, Meg, I got to take a break. Tell me what your thoughts are on this subject.
Well, it's kind of like the thing in Jurassic Park. It's like, is it heavy? Yes. Then it's expensive. What I was getting at with that is, are they still here? Yes. Well, then they're making money.
Oh, nice.
At the end of the day, instead of, if you're still here and you're still doing something, you're making money and you're doing fine. However much they decide to make depends on their business strategy moving forward, which they have for now. I mean, like we talked about the mixed messaging thing, but I'm sure that they've got a trajectory of where they would like to go. They may pivot here, pivot there. Who knows? But if they're making money and they're still there and they all still have jobs, that means they're doing well. Now, that being said, we are also on the precipice of what we've all heard about this mass layoff situation. And so now I'm just like, I'm kind of hesitant to be like, yeah, they're making tons of money, but now they're about to lay off 20% of the workforce. So now I'm just like, well, where do I go with this? I'm like, okay, well, how about this? Corporations do that all the time. I'm not defending them because I hate corporations, all of them, including mine. The one I work for, don't trust them as far as I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. And I tell it right to their face, by the way. The CEO of the company. I said, I don't trust you guys as far as I can throw you, but I'm also in a position where they can't get rid of me. They can, but why would you? I'm so handsome.
Why would you get rid of me?
Anyhow, the point, I know it's ridiculous. But anyways, I'm really, really good at what I do. But either way, the point is that people worrying and arguing and trying to dig deep into how much this is making, how much that is making, is this feasible, is this financially sound? That shouldn't be a concern of yours. This is something that we're talking about literally 10 minutes ago. I'm going to go back to that 10-minute conversation from 10 minutes ago and just say, hey, does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter. We as customers should be focusing on our wallets, not their wallets. The only thing that you should have, and it does bother me sometimes, I do think about it, I'm like, I really hope they make enough money to keep going because I really enjoy what they're offering. Right? And
okay.
So I hope
good point.
Business,
good point.
You see what I'm saying? So there is that part of me that does get concerned sometimes where I look at a company, I'm like, oh man, I really hope that they're doing well because I really like their product or I really like their service and I'd love to have that for another 10 years, 20 years, the rest of my life, whatever. Right? And so there is that part of me, but I don't pine on it to the point that it becomes an obsession. It becomes an arguing point. It becomes a 2.5-hour podcast.
I mean, we're podcasters, right?
Sense.
We will talk about these things and we will analyze them. And so will he. Like, he should be asking the question because he's an analyst. He's of course he should be concerned, but to ask the general populace of gamer fans, the incurious gamers, why don't you care? And they're like, well, we don't care. We're incurious. I thought you knew what the word meant. We don't care. I think, and I asked the question too. What does Xbox plan to do? One of Crap Gamer's concerns is, what if developers say, we'll just make what if the developers just say, people just keep buying the games on Steam on Xbox's new device because they have access to Steam. They're building their library up there. And now we don't really feel like it's worth our time to make an Xbox version because this percentage of the game sales goes to PlayStation and Steam.
Right.
That's a valid concern, but Crap Gamer and Colin are kind of leaving out the 30 to 40 million Xbox customers who have been building a library for at least 12 years, building a digital library, right? The past 10 to 12 years, like 70 to 80% of us have been building a digital library that we don't want to just get rid of. And I talked to Randall Thor, who is a real diehard gaming fan and is going to stay with Xbox until the wheels fall off. And he said, I honestly don't care about my old library. Like, he rarely ever replays a game. I'm not that type of person. I like to replay games. I like to own my games, go back whenever I feel like it, even if it's just to grab a clip for a video. I absolutely love that. Or just to play a game with somebody. Rands, let us know in the chat if you're like this. Rand's like, I could literally just throw away all the games I've owned, and he owns like 4,000. I could literally just like, they could just dissolve and go away, and I wouldn't shed a tear, because he's always like, what's the next game? What's the next game? What's the next game moving forward? What's the next new game that I'm going to buy? What am I going to play? What am I going to get all the achievements on and move forward? So he doesn't care about the entitlement and pushing forward of his old library, but we know there's a lot of people in this, like you, that you care about your library, right? You want them to come forward.
Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of agree. When I get through a game, and whether I get a platinum trophy or whether I get my 1,000, when I'm done with that, I'd never go back to it. I'm done with it. That's it. However, I do own the product or whatever, or at least I pay for the product. I've come over the years, I've come to the understanding of what we're really doing at the end of the day is that we're basically not even buying something to own. We're basically buying access to something, right? And like, for example, like when you go to the movie theater and it costs me $100 to take a family of 4, that's more expensive than a video game. And I'm only in there for 90 minutes because I want to go see, How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, and it's
Do
over.
I own that movie now? It's no. I paid for the experience. And so you're seeing that's starting to become more the norm. And when it comes to gaming, I've come to that point where actually, no, I don't really care. Once I've ripped through that game and I've given its due, I've got my, like I said, if I decide to get the completion or whatever else, and I'll probably never touch the game again. Very rarely, and I'm talking less than 5% would I ever go back now. So now I just move them off the hard drive and then put the new ones on, because that's another thing, dude. I will go back and buy old games I haven't played, or some that I actually want to go back and revisit. For example, there were a couple of sales on both consoles actually for like the Arkham series. They were super cheap.
Yeah.
It was like
you gotta own
$12
them.
or $10.
You gotta own them. Yeah.
For all 3. So I'm like, you know what? I want all 3 of them with like the remastered versions of this game. They did a Mafia sale, for example. I own the Mafia games on Xbox, but I didn't own them on PlayStation. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go see if I could, go for a couple of platinum trophies on the Mafia games. Yeah. Let me see if I can get the platinums on the Mafia games.
What
so
I didn't properly
for like $25.
What I didn't properly convey, because I went on a tangent, was that
sure.
People, they have an investment in their library and they have like a history. And I know people don't like totally like worship the trophies and achievements, but what I was getting at is there's 30 to 40 million Xbox like entrenched customers are going to move forward, and they can look and buy the game on Steam, but they're going to be like, I want to get the Xbox version because, the I can just play on Xbox Live and talk to the people on Xbox chat, like all that, like, even though some of that doesn't necessarily restrict you. I'm just going to buy the Xbox version because I have all my achievements in the Assassin's Creed series on Xbox. And some of these things don't really matter, but these are like humanity traits of loyalty and continued history that keeps people, when people are like, no one's going to buy the next Xbox console. I'm like, you and I are like, yeah, they will. They'll like 15 to 20 million will probably buy the next console. And it may just stop it there, but there are people who are just like, this is where I game. This is where I grew up. This is where my friends are. And so what does Xbox stand to gain by putting Steam on there? People have access to other games, but they're probably going to continue to buy certain types of games always directly from Xbox. And then the additional ones they'll buy on Steam. And Colin doesn't see that because a lot of people, especially PlayStation fans, look at everything in absolute terms. A Sith only deals in absolute. Say it, Mag. Yeah,
only
so
a Sith deals in absolutes. 2003, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, 2005.
And so they always think, why would they do this? They can get their games in other places. It's because there's certain fan base that's all they've known was, this is my plastic. My games are only here. They don't see the benefit of being able to buy games from other storefronts and be able to load all these in one place, because all they've known their whole life is my console doesn't let me do any of that. And I just think that somewhere the people at Microsoft and Xbox have said, look, this is what we project. We're going to be able to retain this many customers. because of Xbox, and we're going to be able to bring in more people who are like, my PC's amazing. I already said this earlier. It does not allow me to play my Xbox games. So this next Xbox PC console will let me play all of those. And that's already a reason to buy one, even with a great PC. And that's a lot of hot air.
No. It makes sense. And here's the thing. This is what I think makes more sense than even just people worrying about their libraries and stuff, which I would imagine the majority of people probably don't even go back. And I bet you if they did percentages and said, okay, let's see, the average gamer owns X amount of games in their library. How many times do they go back to go visit games that are 5 years or older? I bet you the percentages in single. Yeah. Oh, so if they have that kind of, they have those numbers, I bet you the numbers are incredibly low. Right. So therefore, I think that that's not really the focus. What we should be focusing on, and something that I think that a few people have mentioned in the chat, I think that the most important thing is the community moving forward. So I think is like, for example, let's say, I don't know, let's say out of the 25 million, 30 million people on Xbox this generation, let's say another 10 or 15 million of them go to PC next gen and leave the Xbox ecosystem behind. Right. Okay, fine. But the thing is, you've got that 15 million people left still on the Xbox ecosystem. The thing is, well, did I just lose my friends? Did I lose my community? Did I lose my ability to just ring up 100 people at once and be like, let's go, boys, squad up. We're going to go play Call of Duty tonight or whatever. Important. Did you lose those people? So I think the breakup of the community is more has more of an impact than the games. And I think that is what the problem is.
Oh my gosh, that was such a great statement, Mag. I want people to rewind to hold on. I want people to rewind to a minute 51. Mag just said it all. When Colin says what does Microsoft stand to gain by putting, Steam games on there? Mag is so right. It is so important when you move forward, people are like, just get a PC. Just get a PC. It's a PC at this point. Just get a PC. How many of you want to go over to just Steam and be cut off from all the friends you've made over the past 8 to 15 years? Nobody wants that. And if Xbox says you can still have your friends, you can still have your Xbox library, all of your Xbox progress and your Xbox owned games, plus you can tap into everything that PC gamers have been enjoying, why the heck wouldn't people be excited about that prospect? And you can play PlayStation games when they come out. Maggie totally nailed it. People always forget that friends list is so important. Even if you just have two guys and girls that you play with on the regular. I was playing Division 2 with Dante and That Blue Number last night. And those moments are so important. Laughing, talking trash, and just hanging out, playing a game with the game sound and the chat right there, perfectly mixed. Yeah. It's beautiful.
I don't want to be separated from... Like, for example, I've said it before, I'm not shy about it. I say over and over again that I buy my since my wife sold her Xbox, I buy all my third-party games on PlayStation so that she can get them. I'm not buying them twice. That's the stupidest thing ever. However, multiplayer games that I'm going to be playing on my Xbox, I will play on my Xbox because the majority of my friends are over there. And so when I want to engage in that community, and I got people, I'm adding new people every day. Every day it's like half a dozen people, a dozen people. The numbers just keep going up and up and up and up. And they're all looking for me. Mag, where are you? Mag, where are you? Are you on? A lot of times I'm actually just on the app in bed and I'm just scrolling to see what's going on. But it shows that I'm online. So people are inviting me to parties and stuff. And I'm like, I can't. I'm in bed.
I'm in my underwear.
So,
you were in your underwear yesterday.
I'm in my underwear anyway. But anyway, the point is that I keep that there. That when I do the multiplayer games, Call of Duty, I will not play Call of Duty on PlayStation, right? Not because I don't want to, and not because I don't want to pay for it. I do have it on Xbox, and I have Game Pass for it, so I will play it over there. But that's not the point. My point is that the majority of the people that I do those games with are on there. So we have those big Call of Duty matches. Noof Nukem's on there. Scrub Nurse is on there. We got all the other guys on there, and then we get in these huge Call of Duty team matchups and whatever else. And it's just like we've been doing for literally years and years and years, if not damn near borderline decades for some of us that we've been hanging out, right? So that is more important than anything else. So, yes, for the gaming, I do look forward as I defeat the games and I destroy them and I get my full completions, move on to the next thing. But the thing I don't want to move on to is the friends. I don't want to throw my friends away and be like, next. You know what I mean? Those are people
way
that
back
I'm
in the
carry
day
with me, hopefully forever.
Yeah, way back in the day, I had like 400 hours in Borderlands 2, and I got a PS3 late in the generation, and they gave Borderlands 2 free with PS Plus. And I'm like, oh, cool. I mean, my favorite game ever. But I mean, it's so simple, Meg. I loaded up my favorite game. No progress there. No friends to join. None of my friends were on there. Like, I mean, it's just a simple, obvious thing, right? Here's my favorite game.
Right.
None of my characters, none of my progress, none of my friends that I co-op with. It was
Right.
borderline worthless, the free game at that point. And I say the same
Like,
vice
for
versa
example-
with people who play, like you said, with Call of Duty, like you'll play it on Xbox. There's people who only play Madden or Call of Duty on their PlayStation because that's where their home is. And that's super important. Mike Ybarra's statement, I've had the pleasure of talking to Mike Ybarra quite a few times. He was also on the RDX podcast with us way back in the day. And how do I put this delicately? His departure of Xbox was, it was kind of tough. It was a tough thing. And he went to work for Activision, and then Activision picked him back up. But he kind of says these things in the guise that he bleeds green. He says he bleeds green. He loves Xbox, but he doesn't really. He sounds a little bit overly concerned, and it makes me question how much he still loves the company who's kind of made it difficult for him with how they change things. I want to be respectful. I like the guy a lot. He said, quote, "I'm glad I'm not personally invested in the Xbox brand." It's the opening line. "I can't imagine what fans must make of all this instability. Nintendo and Sony generally provide more stability." I'm going to stop right there because he says, I can't imagine what the fans must make of all this instability. What instability, Mike Barr, are you talking about? The instability of, are the games going to be exclusive or not? I mean, in 2024, that was the first half of 2024, that was a big question mark. But if you're not paying attention, you didn't realize that they planted that flag in the ground in August of 2024, and they said, we're putting our games on PlayStation. Just expect it going forward. The instability of hardware, which he might be talking about, because this starts off with what Laura Fryer was talking about. What instability? Like they've supported the Xbox Series S and X. They said they're going to make another console. What's the instability? Unless we get an announcement on Wednesday that the hardware team is being pared down and Xbox has to make like a public statement that we were planning on making a console, but now we're going to rely on a co-branded or a co-partnership console so that we can provide you with Xbox hardware next generation. They're still making a console. I just don't know what in the world he's saying. He says, with some exceptions, you know what you're going to get. So he agrees with me there. He says, Xbox has no clear message or direction that I can see. And Mike Ybarra's statement here, Mag, I think Sarah Bond or Phil Spencer, here's my prediction. They're going to have to come out in their next interview with the media. This is going to be, Keith Garland says, he also says Xbox needs to pick a lane. No, they don't, Mike. They do not need to pick a lane. Microsoft has found it's better for them to have their devices, give players more choice. You can play on Game Pass. You can buy the games natively. You can play on the cloud. You can play on PC. You can play anywhere. You have 1,000 games where you can play however you want, back and forth with no restrictions. That is a lane no one has bothered to do for gamers as pro-consumer as it is. What was I going to say? Let me go back. It's crazy. He says they have no message direction. Okay, this is my prediction. Phil Spencer is going to have to say, it's going to be so ridiculous, okay? There's going to be an interview with like CNN or Forbes or whoever, and Phil's going to have to, he's going to have to beat it over these people's heads. He's going to have to say, I feel like a lot of people don't really understand our messaging. We've clearly stated in our last announcement that we're partnering with AMD to make the next generation console, plus some other devices that we haven't announced yet because we're not ready to announce those. Those are going to be a big surprise announcement when the time comes. Though that time is not now for those teams as they ready this up. But I feel like I have to sit here and say, this is going to be what Phil's going to say. I feel like I have to sit here and tell you, yes, we are building a next generation console. I thought we already told you that, but apparently the games media and PlayStation diehard fans just don't understand this. So here I am beating you over the head and telling you, yes, let me repeat it again. We are making a next generation console. Now, I could be wrong and no one will clip this part. I could be wrong if they fire they lay off the Xbox hardware team. But as it stands today, they have plainly told you in plain PR speak. Let me grab it. We are building the next generation of Xbox first-party devices and cloud, including our future consoles, together with AMD. People are nitpicking the Lisa Su saying we're moving beyond the custom chips. Yes, she's doing more than just doing. We're not just going to do the one custom chip. We're moving beyond that. We're doing a separate chip for the handheld. We're doing a separate chip for PCs. We're doing a separate chip for the console. I'm so frustrated because this is a reality that Phil Spencer's going to have to look kind of dumb and say, I mean, I thought you guys knew. We said it as plain as day on the video. Lisa Su said it. Our Xbox social media team said it. I don't know what else. I don't know how else to explain this to people. I've gotten these arguments nonstop. People use ChatGPT to write all their tweets. Mike Ybarra is confused about the stability of Xbox. They've had record revenues. They're going to lay off because they've spent $80 billion. It's so ridiculous that they're laying off. It makes me so angry that the people above Phil want to see so much more money, that they're cutting leadership salaries and they're laying off people when they should be bolstering up with so much talent and possibly closing a couple studios. It's probably a conversation we're going to have next week. But Mike Ybarra says, tough to see Xbox confused on who it is and what it should be. Some great people there still. They have to figure out what needs to change. And fast. I'm a big fan and will always bleed green. Cheering the team on from the sidelines. Pick your lane and stick to it. Meg, final thoughts.
What am I going to say after that? That was a gigantic epic discussion that you had there. And then, of course, the quotes on top of it. Listen, at the end of the day, all that's going to, the only way that you're going to see what's going to happen is you're going to see how the market reacts to how they present the product, how much the product costs, and is the value there for the consumer. Those are the three things. They answer those three questions. They put the product out there. You're just going to have to wait and see. And I could predict all day long till I'm blue in the face. You could do the same thing. It means nothing. We could speculate, but we cannot do anything above and beyond that. All we could do is wait and see what happens. And if it falls flat on its face, then you know they failed. If it succeeds and they can carry on for another generation, then that means that they're doing just fine. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, let it go. And I mean that for the listeners too. Never mind the people on the social media, the talking heads on YouTube and everything else. I think at this point, it's just time for us to let it go. Let them do their thing. And whether you're going to be there or not is entirely up to you as a consumer. And then we'll sit back and watch as it happens. Right? If you want to get involved in it, go ahead. Throw the money down and go buy a next-gen console from Xbox if that's what you want. You want to go do on PlayStation? Go do on PlayStation. Nintendo can go to hell. But either way, one of those two. Yeah. So, like, you know what I mean?
I don't care about Nintendo. Do your thing, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I was about to say something nasty, but I won't. But the thing is, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the point of arguing about this for 2 more years, talking about it for 2 more years, get all these people riled up for what reason? It makes no sense.
So where you sit, like Mag? Are you concerned? Are you excited? Or are you curious?
I'm indifferent. I'm indifferent to it because I'm just gonna see how it plays out. Because remember, they have not actually produced anything for us to see that's tangible. They said that they had a discussion. They're doing a partnership with AMD, and that's it. That's all we know. All we know. So what do we do know? Let's break that down. Forget what we don't know. Why don't we break down what we do know? We do know what games we should be getting in the next 3 years, right? Give or take. They've given us a list of games. So why don't we focus on that? Why don't we focus on that, because I'm not thinking about what's happening in 3 years in my life or 4 years in my life. I'm thinking about from now. I'm thinking about right now. What can I do that's directly in front of me that's going to make my journey that much better, that much more successful, that much happier, that much more content? And the same thing goes here. The only thing that we know is of the games that we got coming up. We already got the hardware sitting right here. You got the hardware sitting at your house, the PCs and whatever the hell else you play on, right? But what do we know? Okay, so what do we know from Xbox right now? We know that Fable's coming up, all right? You know that you're getting a Call of Duty. You know you're getting a State of Decay 3. You know you're getting a Perfect Dark. And then you're getting an Everwild if you're into that thing. I did a video about that. Shameless plug.
Yep.
And then that's it.
Getting Blade.
So those are the
getting so many games.
Oh, yeah.
Clockwork.
There's a couple of other
Outer Worlds.
Right. I forgot
Ninja Gaiden 4.
Outer Worlds is not my thing. That's probably why I didn't mention it. But I did honestly forget Clockwork Revolution.
Right? I think you might like this one. I think you might like this one. I'm thinking. Yeah.
Well, we'll find out. I'm good against it. It's not like I'm not going to try it. It's right in front of my face. So the thing is, why don't we focus on that?
I mean, you don't have to like it.
That's the information that we... Yeah, I know. I'm just going to give it a shot. But the thing is, though, that's something tangible that we can hold in our hand, right? Everything else is just speculative, based on literally nothing. The only other thing that you can base it on is their history. And let's face it, their last 2 generations were not, hardware-wise and software hit and miss, were not good. And so when people base it on that, they could say, okay, well, this is how it's going to be. Well, that always translate the same way. The Xbox original did okay. The 360 did phenomenal. Then they had 2 not good generations of hardware and whatever else. And then the second half of Xbox One, the software, I don't even want to get into that. But that's fine. That's fine. But you can't base all of that you can't base the entire future based on just that half history. Right? So let's just wait and see what happens. Yeah. And I'm not trying to like cop out by saying, oh, well, he's not answering the question. Well, I'm not, because like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict.
Yeah, I don't either. I can be excited about what I
mean?
think might happen, but what good does that do?
Sure, you could be excited. Why would you want to dampen anybody's excitement for something, right? Let them
people do it all the time, Mag. People all the time. They just pour cold water over people. I was listening to a real great song by Real Big Fish saying, you don't know what it's like to be me. And like, I like something that you don't, and you're telling me it's shiz, is the lyrics. And I was like, oh man, that's like, I've been listening to that song for like 25 years. It's amazing. It's how it is. You don't like something I do, or you like something I don't, or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, like for example, like I'm excited for the next Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World movie, and I know there's like 8 of them or however many, 7 of them, and I'm like, I want to see it. Looks like fun. It looks good, or whatever, right? And then immediately I got bombarded with, you don't know what you're talking about. This is gonna be crazy. And I'm like, did you watch it? And then you're met with silence.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, well then, let me be excited for whatever. It's fine to be excited about all that stuff, but I'm not going to waste my time right now. What I'm going to waste my time with right now, because like I said, they have not told us anything. They just told us there's a partnership, and it was 1 minute and 17 seconds long. That's it. You know nothing else.
No.
Nothing else about what's
and it was
happening.
Really early. So, I mean, remember I said that Phil Spencer's going to have to like say, I thought I told you. Phil Spencer's going to have to tell like the media, like, I told you we're making a console. Like, I feel like I have to say this out loud because you guys weren't listening. That's the reason why we got the announcement a week ago, is because they got off the showcase and people were like, are they going to make a console? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to, gosh, I guess we got to go tell them. We got to go make it. We got to make this little 1 minute video and then tell Lisa Sue to get out there because everyone thinks we're going to leave the console business. I mean, I think they kind of quadrupled down. I got to read these supers because we're way over time. Sure. Austin T goes, Colt, thanks for reaching out. I see your messages a lot. It's the nicest way to ignore someone ever. Laughing, crying emoji. No, Taco Chef Forever. We talk back and forth a lot. He sends me a ton of messages, but I rarely reply on Xbox Live because I stay on top of my Xbox or Twitter messages, but not my Xbox messages, and it sucks. I need to do better. Andy Hart, thank you for the 5, says, serious question, with nearly all Xbox games going to PlayStation, what is the point of more Xbox hardware? I'm not even going to get into that. We covered it. Mag covered it excellent when he said where your home is and where you play with. Who you play with.
Yeah.
Broke Boy with the $2 says the next Xbox will be the Xbox P3, which is Phil's gamer tag. The PlayStation 3 is what he'll call it. Danny Hebden, thank you for the £5 super, says the Xbox Infinite would be a great name. Pushing Polygons with the 5.
That's a good name.
It is. It is. And if it's their last one, if it just lasts forever, it'll work. Pushing Polygons, thank you for the 5, says, great show, gents. Have a good night. Sweet dreams, my prince. Sweet dreams. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat with Australian 5, thank you so much. Says, Mag, no console wars on your streams because most watching game on multiple devices aren't one-trick ponies.
Yeah, well, I'm a pony, but not a one-trick pony. I'm a many-trick pony. But yes. See, Grandpa Barbecue, he's a maggot, and so like, and then you know, when we go on the stream, nobody asked me. So no, sorry, excuse me. Some people that are jumping in on the stream for the first time, like for example, when I was playing Resident Evil Village, they're like, Mag, are you playing this PS5 Pro? This looks phenomenal, or whatever else. Or are you playing on the Series X? What are you playing it on? And so they'll ask me what I'm playing it on. Are you playing it on PC or whatever? So I answer them. I'm like, no, I'm playing on a PS5 Pro or whatever. And that's that, and that's all there is to it. And what? But nobody freaks out.
Nobody throws an egg.
Like nobody like loses
cable.
their mind. No. And then I still get like something anywhere between like 350 and 500 people checking out the live streams. And
That's
so I'm like,
awesome.
all right, you know, and I'm just like, cool. And nobody bitches about that stuff. And no one's fighting about it because you know what we're there for? We're there for the game. We're there for the game and to have them having fun. We're not there to worry about what I'm playing on, which controller I'm holding, this one or this one. Which both happen to be white though. It's kind of, but like yeah. So like you know what I mean? Who the hell cares? Here you go. Look, here's a blue Xbox.
Hold on, I gotta click back here.
And here's the.
Oh, nice.
Hey there, gamers. We get.
Hey there, gamers. Dreamcast guy. I love this one. This one. That's weird. I did my mirror.
Papa Baco. I'm on.
No, I love the. Sorry. I love the PlayStation.
Papa Baco. No, he's asking me a question where I stream. I stream right on my YouTube channel, dude. I don't go on Twitch just yet.
Oops. Yeah. I was gonna punch that in the chat real quick. Where's the tab? Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
Copy link. Can you
see
do
Marvel?
it that
Keep
way?
your comments to
there
yourself.
It is. I love it when people reply. Goes, who cares? They'll say that like on a post of mine. Who cares? I'm like, all right. Scott Gamer Dude, thank you so much for the 5 channel member as well. It says last week you were talking about the new console being modular. If this is more PC like, I can use my USB Blu-ray player. What do you think? Okay, bye. Have a safe trip. Can I use my USB Blu-ray player? I don't know how that works, like bandwidth wise, but Meg and I have predicted that the next Xbox console will have a pocket for like $100 Blu-ray drive that Xbox is going to sell on the side, and hardly anybody will buy it because almost 90% of their fans are all digital. So, but I think they will. Meg and I think they're going to offer a modular disc like PlayStation does. So, couple more here. Joe AB8, thank you for the $5 super or Abe says the Rogue Xbox Asus Ally Companion Transformer 360 SXZ. They're going to call it the box, the mini Xbox Mini.
Oh my God!
Such a mouthful. Just like Noise Mofo is a mouthful. Noisy Mofo gives Canadian 2 and says, "Can I just buy Steam games on my Xbox PC to bypass Live?" Absolutely. Yeah, that's what you can do. If you want to play Call of Duty, you can buy it on Battle.net or Battle.net might get folded into Xbox Live, or you can buy it on Steam, and you don't have to pay to play online. You just will have to party up with your friends through crossplay. Web Dave says, everyone hit the like button. Phil has set Xbox on the right path to dominate next gen, and ponies hate that Sony has made so many mistakes. I don't know if Phil has set us on the right path for the future, but he's certainly offering us better consumer choice. And the games, like Mag said, the games are already amazing, and that's what matters most. Machine XP with a 5 says, Ben Starr, the voice actor in Expedition 33 and Final Fantasy 16. He was the voice actor for Clive, I think. Surprisingly, had a very detailed and knowledgeable conversation about Xbox on Kind of Funny's daily show today. I did not even know that. I'm going to check that out. Detailed, knowledgeable conversation. But Fernaldi says, one of the first things I did when I got my PC was play Spider-Man at 1440p, 120 FPS, and ray tracing with my Xbox controller. messiness. Grandman with the 2 says the only thing dying is, that's not nice, somebody's teeth. Scott Gamer Dude, I've got 3 more. Scott Gamer Dude says, I wanted to get into Sony's ecosystem, so I decided to do it this way. I bought an old PlayStation 4, and then I'll play the new games on the new Xbox. Well, you'll be cut off from the PlayStation 4 pretty soon, if not right away, but good luck. But hope the best way, if you're like, should I get a PlayStation, and you're like mainly on Xbox and all your games are there, is find a used PlayStation. That's what I did when I got the PS4. Amazing value. WebDay says Steam on Xbox handheld showcases Xbox value to all. Yep. I love it. KY Bob says so many cool games on Steam that will never see console because devs don't do the consoles, like The Forest, Serum, and good demos like Tempest Rising. Yeah. One of my favorites, KY Bob, is Enshrouded, which will eventually come to console, and it's a game like The Forest. So, Meg, it's been an amazing show. Thank you for being patient as I read some amazing chats. Tell everybody what's in the plans for you this week, and text me about these layoffs on Wednesday. I'll need it.
Do you think it's going to happen Wednesday?
That blue number in the chat says, from what she's hearing, the announcement's coming down Wednesday, yeah.
Usually corporations do it on a Thursday, Friday so that you don't come back and shoot up the place. Yeah. So that dude, I'm not even kidding. I wasn't even making a joke. I was being dead serious. That's exactly why, no pun intended. That's exactly why they do it on a Thursday, Friday so that you have the weekend to sit at home.
I could set the building on fire. I could set the building on fire.
Yeah. That's my stapler.
I was told I could play the radio at a reasonable volume.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be Wednesday.
Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out very soon. We're gonna see what's going on. But either way, I'm gonna be dropping videos throughout the week. Hopefully, I get some more news coming in. I'm gonna be streaming all week. I'm going to try and get a stream in tomorrow night for a little bit, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I will be doing some more Death Stranding 2 as well. And then, if anybody wants to see, I don't know if anybody wants to see down the road. Like I said, I just got. Actually, no, I'm going to wait on Little Nightmares. I'm going to put Little Nightmares in October, the remastered that I got for free. I'm going to wait till October to drop that one, and then I'll do that right before Little Nightmares 3, and then I'll stream Little Nightmares 3 in October when it comes out. But I got to tell you, man, when I finished Resident Evil Village, watching me scream like a little girl in the house Benevento with the little doll, I was screaming, and people were pissing themselves laughing, and I'm like, it's not funny. It was really scary. But anyways, that's what I'll be doing for the week. So the channel's going to be awfully busy. Go check me out. Of course, the Mag Show, that's there. Links are in the chat as usual. You can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Xbox, PlayStation. I am the Mag. I'll all be there. And then I'm going to be doing some more stuff for the members, as the members are now actually growing. So I'm going to be doing some member only streams. We're just like, half hour, 45 minutes, just shooting the breeze. You can ask me questions. We could talk behind the scenes. And then in August, I'm going to be launching the Top Tier Mag part where for the highest paid tier, and I'm going to be starting with Gears of War Reloaded, where I'm going to be actually doing live streams with community members in the top tier division. So I'm going to be doing that, getting people involved, get people out there playing, get their voice out there. You know what I mean? Get a little more comfortable getting in front of people, get this community together. That's what I'm trying to do, and trying to grow that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go there and have a good time. So that's what I'm doing, and of course, I'll be here next Monday.
Yeah, I'll put your channel link in the chat, and I'm really excited about Borderlands 4. Like, good things are being said, so looks like we have a good time ahead of us, and that'll be fun to do some streaming stuff on that as well. Thanks everybody for watching. I've done 4 or 5 hardware related videos, and my last one about PlayStation 6 and Xbox. Thank you guys so much for your support. I'm not sure. My mom's coming in town tomorrow. Save me! My mom's coming into town. She's gonna stay here, and so I don't know what content creation or even are you gonna go in there and play your video game? Leave me alone, Mom. I gotta play video games. Yeah, we love her so much. She's amazing. Love it. So yeah, thank you guys, everybody, for all your awesome support. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna get out of here, and hey, have fun. Be excited. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see you next week. If anything super crazy happens, I might do a stream as news breaks on Wednesday, and I'll bring my mom in. She's like, I just love it. Let's talk about video games. Because that's how she sounds. We're out of here.
Meg,
Meg,
on
you're the
XNC
best.
next week. All right, man.
Yes.
Have a good night, guys.
Can you imagine? Later. See ya.